should be going. Yep, and I'm streaming with my CPU pushed to the fucking max, but whatever the fuck. I mean, I've literally shut down every fucking other thing, so this computer's just a piece of shit, and I'm about to throw it out the goddamn window because there's no way this thing should be pushing the fucking numbers they're pushing, but whatever. That's fine. It's all good. I always wanted to appear on this as a still image. That's cool too. I didn't want to have video or nothing, you know? That is true. I do fucking bounce around like a fucking crazy person, so. I'm a jiggly man. Nothing wrong with being a jiggly man. Jiggly fuck. It's time to jiggle, boy. Let me ask you motherfuckers something. Are you ready to jiggle? 'Cause thus soon the whole world will jiggle. I can't wait to watch this world jiggle. It's gonna be fucking beautiful. Yeah, because Paul was the one who's like, we should put this behind the paywall, fellas. The roof. Through the fucking roof, y'all. Oh my God, it's next level out here. Holy fucking shit. What is that piece of shit? Get that shit out of here. Oh. Oh, you know what? I know why that's happening. Boom. There you go.
It's okay because
now we can hear you both. That's why we started early.
Well, I also had Taylor monitoring the feed, so to make sure there's any problem.
Now they can hear you fucking. I mean, honestly,
my God, man.
The stream is better without you guys any fucking way, but you know.
Are you?
It's better without you, Paul. Just accept the truth.
You've upset Paul the Third.
Paul the Third. Paul the Third's a little piece of crap. Who cares?
You say that about my kid, motherfucker? Come say it to my face.
I will.
Come say it to my face,
dude.
I'll say it to you. I'll fucking say it to your face, bitch. I don't give a fuck.
You ain't got the balls, dude.
I don't give a
fucking
fuck.
knock you out, dude. Look, TJ. I mean, normally I'm on your side about shit, man, but you don't talk about someone's kid like that, dude. That's fucked up, man.
Don't worry about it, Paul the Third.
Paul the Third.
Paul the Third, you're beautiful. We love you, Paul the Third. You're great.
Paul the Third is all of 1 3/4 feet tall, and he would beat the fuck out of you.
More like Paul the Turd.
Whoa, TJ.
Mwahaha, I say.
Whatever you say, TJ.
Yeah, whatever I say.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Paul the Third is a little fucking fat turd. I'm TJ. I like to make fun of kids.
Well, come back, whatever you say.
Los locos kick your ass! Los locos kick your face! Los locos kick your balls into outer space!
So predictions. I mean, like, I can't believe the day is finally here. We were just talking this before.
Uh-huh.
Me and Paul, we're sitting here, we're watching this fucking bullshit, and we're like, man, I can't believe it's finally here.
Yeah.
And so my prediction, shit show. That seems like the safest bet possible. But what kind of... Okay, yeah, you're right. Too vague. Too vague.
Prediction.
Well, I laid out a bunch of predictions yesterday on my stream. But I'll do it.
Is it yesterday, TJ? Is it your stream?
Yeah.
People are fucking here. Gee, they paid their fucking hard-earned fucking greenbacks or euros, where the fuck it is. I don't know.
Well, I thought maybe I could tell you guys my predictions. And you can tell me if you think they're right. What's that?
Did you say, Paul?
Oh,
What'd you say, Paul?
Oh no, this is a mess.
What happened? What happened? What have you done now?
Paul, what are you doing now,
I
Paul?
opened the stream. Okay, I'm fine.
Okay.
I was hearing double of everything
Oh.
because I opened the stream.
I've got
'cause I was trying to
double
get the chat.
vision.
My double vision.
All right, it's good that we're working out all these issues.
Yeah, see, that's why.
My prediction for the stream, I'm going to take the long odds on this one.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I'm going to say that we are going to get a boring debate tonight because it's 2020. And for whatever reason, 2020 seems like determined to be a shit show. So I'm going to say that it's going to suck. We all want it to be great. We all want to see grandpas flinging poop at each other and going crazy. But I get the feeling that it's going to be like absolutely fucking like boring tonight. It's going to be boring.
So you think it's going to be kind of feel each other out, both try to seem like, stable geniuses, and then maybe we get more of a shit show further on down the road.
Our expectations are way too big. Yeah, maybe one of the further down the road debates are a shit show, but this one right here, I may be wrong. People are saying that Paul's audio is too low. My audio is the same as it always is, so that should be something that TJ.
Well, I will go ahead and crank it up a little bit on the
we're just missing
Discord
this old
end.
doing a pinstripe suit talking, so it
I
doesn't
don't know why when I record and stream, you guys' audio is just what comes through to me, but TJ has some different layer between where he can control our audio and I don't know.
Your guys' audio both comes in through the same joint. But I don't know. You probably were turned down at some point because you were probably coming in hot. Sometimes these boards like to come in a little hotter than other times. So I'm assuming you're
coming in hot.
I'm assuming your board was probably too hot at one point, and I just turned you down a little bit on the Discord end. But
Paul audio low. Okay, guys, they get it. They get it.
All right, it's done.
My
It's
audio's
fixed. It's happened.
It's fixed.
All right, guys.
good.
So are Trump and Biden going to do the handshake, or are they just going to look at each other, they're going to mean mug each other? Then
They're not going to. There's no way they're going to shake hands. There's too much disrespect right now. They ain't going to shake no hands. They got the COVID excuse not to anyway.
I think you're right. I think it's going to be kind of like the.
I think I already read.
I
think I already read an article that said they definitely weren't going to shake hands anyway. So
they're not going to fist bump or do the lame elbow thing that politicians do, like give me an elbow.
No, I hope not.
Are they gonna kiss?
Yeah, they should make out.
Wouldn't that blow your mind if they gave each other a kiss right on the lips to start this shit?
If they just popped right on up on that stage and started making the fuck out, that'd be hot. I'd jerk off.
So you guys will have to tell me when it starts because I'm running the proceedings tonight, but I can't really see the stream. So
weird.
Well, it's doing that. Your stream is still running to save.
Oh, okay, I got you. I remember.
You feel me?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
we feel you.
I feel it.
You guys just let me know when it looks like shit's about to kick off, and I will.
No, right now there's just some old man yammering. He's blathering.
I mean, at the very least, they don't have tons and tons of time before they're supposed to start this shit.
Right.
Like a lot of these have like that hour long, like this C-SPAN stream just started and they're going to have a couple of dorks from the DNC, and the RNC come up and probably talk. And then,
yeah, right now we're watching some kind of dork fucking yammer on. I don't know what the fuck his deal is. Looks like, I don't even
know. Let's hear him so we get some feedback from the audience. If they
he's the commission of, yeah, I guess that's a good idea.
All right. Yeah. Good point. Give me a sec, guys, and I'll unmute it here.
Might as well work out all the kinks right now before the actual debate.
Yeah, might as well kink out all the works. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, what happened?
I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Oh, it's.
Okay, so let me see if I can fuck with this.
Kind of low.
Yeah, it's low for me too. So let me.
You might want to go look in your audio mix settings in the corner there.
Yeah. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna check and see about the. See if we can boost the volume of Chrome. There it is.
There we go. Much better.
Outside the local police department, who work so hard to keep us all safe and to keep our nation safe. So thanks. And now I'd like to introduce the newest member of the leadership team.
Fucking
25 years.
Myrtle the turtle.
All right, so how are we coming in compared to it?
We're louder, which we need to be.
To have him join us.
I can turn you guys down a little bit here. Well, I guess it doesn't matter for me.
As far as
we're sounding okay.
As far as I'm concerned, I can hear them, but they're not like overpowering. I can maybe turn them up a little on my. Nope, I can't.
Who are with us tonight and welcoming you.
I mean, should I turn them down a little? I guess for now I'll turn them.
No, they're fine on my end.
They're a little. They're a little. I think they're at a good level as long as
Frank
I mean.
said, I'm the commission's newest co-chair.
Okay, this is a good level here.
So basically, what they're hitting. So right now, if you know the OBS system, we're in the yellow. They're getting to like the end of the green, or like 75 to 100% of the green is basically where they're hitting for me, which should be fine for a stream that we want to talk
I'm
over.
having trouble hearing you guys over it.
Oh, okay. So you might want to just turn it down on your end, like on Discord for you.
As debates have become here, they can be even more consequential.
Because it might be just like, I don't know.
Where the commission,
I guess I'm not.
in partnership with the National Democratic Institute, has helped organize more than 400 debates in 45.
People are saying that's so quiet that they can't hear it at all. There's literally nothing I can do to turn it up any higher than it is right there.
It sounds fine to me, and I can tell it's hitting in the right place. So I think they're probably reacting to like a moment ago when you first started it and it was too quiet because they're on a delay.
I don't know. It's really annoying though.
I'm jumping into Patreon right now. I'm gonna launch it myself and just see what I can hear. So I mean, of course, we want to make sure that everyone can hear it.
Did the stream stop?
The debate is inaudible. Vid too quiet, TJ too loud. This, that, the other thing. You want me to just handle this? Because everything's balanced on my end. Like, we're coming in at exactly the same heat as.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, if you guys want to do that, I mean, I don't give a shit.
You want to switch it up and have me just stream this, or what the fuck?
Sure.
I don't know how to fix your volume over there, TJ.
Yeah, I think we should look, guys. If it's up to me, Paul has the most experience streaming and it coming out good, so I think we just give it to Paul, TJ, unless you have some objection.
No, that's fine.
They have promoted comity among political competitors.
Let me see here. All right, so let me just get Paul.
And this effort has spawned the establishment of a global support network of similar debate organizations from nearly 40 countries. Dubbed Debates International.
I mean, I'm looking at where this thing is hitting, and they shouldn't be having this trouble they're claiming to have. But
yeah,
I mean, anything. The problem is anything. Okay, so we're gonna have to I'm gonna have to go to the standby screen because anything that I do is gonna fuck this stream right up. So we're gonna have to, if we're gonna do this like a little baton pass of this stream, then I'm gonna have to get you this information here.
Or who lost, but to share views with those who agree and those who don't.
All right, I guess we're just going to fucking let it be fucked up for a second.
To each other's opinions. We are pleased that the Commission's longest-standing supporters, Judy and Peter Kovler, are in the audience.
All right, I want to listen, guys, and you can definitely not fucking hear the debate.
Okay.
For 32 years, the Judy and Peter Blum Kovler Foundation has given its trust to the mission
pretty much being trolled.
We are deeply grateful for their
I couldn't hear it on my end.
Salty plebs.
Extraordinary contribution.
Well, dude, I couldn't hear it on my end, and I launched it from YouTube, so maybe I was at the wrong spot. You could hear it?
I could hear it. I just launched it on my phone, and it was fine. I was listening through my shitty-ass
Chelsea is saying it's fine, too.
And when we were quiet, I could hear every word they were saying. And when we were talking, I couldn't hear anything they were saying, and I could only hear us.
Right. That's what we want.
That's exactly where we want.
And Chelsea's telling me it's fine too. So I think these people are just stupid.
I think these might be like salty plebs who just joined, who are like trying to troll it, which is fine. Troll us with $5, dude.
To the city of Cleveland. Tonight, you join us in the
so fuck that.
Just talk quieter. All right, I've had enough of this. I'm just gonna mute it up if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Until there's something going on worth listening.
All right,
to.
so there is another thing I could do to boost it a little bit. So I guess I'll do that real quick as well.
I don't really think that's necessary. Like our lone fucking mod is saying it's fine. Your wife is saying it's fine.
Yeah, I'm just going to boost Discord's volume a little smidgen because it is not at full. So I'm just going to boost it up like 10%. And if that doesn't do it for the complainers, then fuck them.
I mean, now
That's what you
it'll
get.
probably fuck it up because everybody else was saying it's fine.
Yeah, no, it's still, we're not in the red or anything,
Station
so
which
it's
you're
fine.
sitting right now had 1,000 hospital beds. We called it the Hope Hospital.
Yeah, they should definitely be able to hear
Thankfully,
that.
the surge did not
If you,
happen.
let me tell you something.
stupid.
If you can't hear that, then you need to get new speakers or a new headset because you should definitely be able to fucking hear that. That's hitting halfway through the that's hitting like 75 to 100% into the green. So if you can't hear that, you're fucking deaf or you need new speakers. So fuck you. That's just on you.
And our 70,000 caregivers
You're gonna have to wait
serving
for the
needs in Cleveland since
cleaned up
1921.
audio processed
Nearly
version that
100
comes out
years.
later if it's really that
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
impossible for your
Back,
system.
you can definitely hear it, but it is lower than us. I will say.
Well, yeah,
should
it's
be
supposed
stream-
to. It's supposed to be lower than us. We're supposed to talk over it. If we make it the
I know.
same volume as us, then we're competing with
look,
Trump and
I-
Biden,
Caregivers
and it becomes a jumbled
I understand
mess.
that. I understand that.
All right.
Anyone that's really concerned about the audio, that's true. We have an audio program. It'll be run through and everything will be leveled, but live, we are going to be louder than that. Just a FYI for everybody.
Yeah, we're gonna be louder than that because we need to be so that we can talk over the two people on stage. If you just want to watch, if you want to hear the debate audio, just go watch the fucking debate.
People are idiots, dude.
Simmer down now.
You're
People
supposed
are
to.
idiots.
Okay, whatever. I'm not.
Presidential debate.
Look,
Anybody with a wrench?
And delighted to show you.
Like at this point, if I can listen to it on my fucking shitty ass cell phone speaker and hear them fine when we're not talking and hear us fine when we are, then go ahead and start timing out dumbasses that are saying they can't fucking hear so we can move on.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Anybody bitching about the audio from here on out, if you can't hear it, go watch fucking somebody else's stream of it or go somewhere else.
Know how to work in teams once.
And time out any fucking idiot saying otherwise.
We don't need to listen anymore of this.
Together,
I don't care about
we
this
built it.
Barbara Snyder bitch or
We're
whatever the
not
fuck's
filled
going on
with-
there. So
This is a snooze.
just wait till Trump and Biden come out. Then we'll give a shit.
Push Matt bad. Dude, the Dementia Olympics Part 2. I'm excited, but I mean,
and now Scotty's fucking you're gonna have to. You're too hot now, Scotty.
I'm too hot. Shit. Okay.
You're blowing it up.
Ease that slider down a peg.
I have not even changed anything, so I'm shocked that I'm hot. I'll ease it down. How's it sound now, guys?
Don't worry,
Better.
you're not that hot.
Hotter than you, though.
No, you're good.
That's all that
You're
matters.
fine. No, you sound fine. You were just coming in a little bit. It wasn't even so much like the volume as it was just like you were clearly like peaking.
I was peeking. Oh, well, thanks for letting me.
Yeah, it was like
But,
doing some compression.
Oh, it's all good. That's live streaming for you guys. You know how it goes.
Especially, I mean, look, if I had, if my CPU wasn't such a piece of shit, this would literally be like no problem whatsoever. But like, even if I just had a laptop to run Streamlabs on, this would probably be fine. But whatevs.
It is
What the
is,
fuck,
you know.
evs? I think it's working good enough, and whatever. If it doesn't, we got recordings of it.
Oh
so.
shit!
Yeah.
Here's look.
All right,
look
the
what it is.
entourage is coming.
The
Ivanka
Trumpires have
and,
shown up.
Look, it's the Fraudsters. Hey, guys, what's up?
Dude, the Trumpires.
Yeah,
They're here.
Trump's just like, oh, that Ivanka, she's fucking hot. That's your daughter, sir. I know, she's hot.
So what?
I wish I could have Ivanka sit in my lap for this. Mr. President.
God damn, she's fine. It's okay. I'm not a real father. I'm shooting blanks. None of my children are mine.
Oh, here we go.
Here's the
Chris
mod.
Paul.
I guess we probably should go
You
and
guys
Yeah,
want to hear this shit?
Let's tune in.
Yeah. I don't hear shit.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Okay, you guys
So
see
we
me
can-
unmuting it, right?
Yeah, I can't hear it. Uh-oh.
Isn't that cute?
Is this real life?
Is this just fantasy?
Nothing
caught
works.
in a yeah, dude, fuck. Come on. Come now.
Okay.
Come on now. And they got
Why can
MSNBC covering it.
Yeah, try to switch to another stream of this.
Is that what happened?
I don't know. I can't hear shit.
Well, we've got
Okay.
4.5 minutes till the stream starts, so we
different
can.
Donald Trump than we see in his Twitter feed every day, or we saw at the Republican convention. It'll be a lot of attacks.
Okay, so we can hear this one. Just that stream got. Is that just like a problem
I'm wondering.
they're having?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this guy is talking because this got muted.
Wow, dude. So it wasn't our problem. It was actually the fucking CNBC problem.
I don't know.
Here, let me go back to that other stream. Yeah.
Yeah. We ain't hearing
Legit
shit,
can't
dude.
hear shit.
There's no volume on their fucking stream, dude. No one can hear this fucking.
They got
talk.
like commentators talking over it, hoping they fix it.
So maybe the fucking prediction about the first debate is no one can hear it.
David Plouffe,
Yeah.
campaign manager and advisor to
Hey,
President
all of
Obama,
you idiots
hosts
that
now
were
the
trolling us,
campaign
go troll
HQ
fucking
podcast.
CNBC right now. They need volume help.
It is now just past 9 o'clock on the East Coast, which means we are about to start. You see Chris Wallace there taking his seat. He will be the sole moderator tonight. There will be 3 presidential debates in total. Each one will have a solo moderator. We're seeing the First Lady, Melania Trump, arrive.
All right, let me full screen this.
seeing
Sorry, it
Rachel
seems like this is the one we'll be running with tonight.
All right.
Of the House with lots of Trump
We need some
family
Rachel
members
Maddow
and,
commentary.
White House personnel. We don't know very much. We were just talking about this, the 3 of us earlier, a moment ago, that we don't know very much about
That's
who is
time.
in the
We
room.
gotta just vamp along with everybody. So,
Yeah, we don't
hopefully
really know.
CNBC will figure out why they don't have any audio.
Less than 100. The campaigns don't appear to have sort of pulled any stunts or anything with anybody.
And so,
Except for dude, I bet Trump was walking past a speaker stack. You remember that
from
scene in
Forrest Gump? Yeah.
Yeah. When the fucking veteran sneaks over next to the speaker stack and pulls all the rip cords and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, dude, it's happening.
Snappity wappity.
He pulled the Forrest Gump.
What was that?
He said he pulled the Forrest Gump.
Yeah, dude, I bet he did.
Existing conditions.
Hold on, let me. You know what, dude? I'm too.
People there. It's a question of whether they can refer to them.
I'm wondering if they fixed it on CNBC stream yet. Still dead ass air.
You mean C-SPAN, right?
Or C-SPAN, sorry.
Yeah, C-SPAN.
Still dead ass
2.
air on C-SPAN.
Why is this on C-SPAN 2? Like, what has C-SPAN 1 got that's going on right now that's bigger?
Dude. Still dead ass air on C-SPAN. Everybody's vamping on every other channel.
Family members and staffers.
Gotta fucking vamp. Let's fucking vamp.
Someone who needs.
It'd be great if they just came out and said, like, guys, we're having audio issues. We cannot solve them.
So I wouldn't expect him to be limited.
I guess they couldn't say it.
All the people making fun of us for our audio issues feel pretty fucking dumb right now, I bet.
No, they feel totally
we're just a
vindicated.
bunch of stoners, and we were able to at least figure out that we were being trolled and get everything leveled and ready to go tonight.
What it really is some people just really have so shitty speakers that it just like whatever. But I can't help you with that.
Dude, I got to be honest with you. If I could hear it through a fucking cell phone,
yeah,
it's not. Then you got a problem I can't solve for you, bro. Like, I didn't listen to it on my fucking cans. I took my headphones off and listened to it on my cell phone, and I could hear every word.
Yeah. And Chelsea's monitoring it too, so she would let me know if it was like, oh, it's fucked up.
My girlfriend's watching it too. She would have run in here with her fucking hair on fire if something was wrong.
What is it?
Oh my god, these cackling witches are vamping.
Just go ahead and turn it all the way down. I don't want to
just mute this.
Yeah, I don't even want to hear fucking Rachel Maddow's fucking.
Whiners.
Stop whining.
I'm Rachel
My hair.
Maddow.
Shaggy Down says my hair looks like it smells of berries. It does. It does. It smells of the woods and of the many fragrant herbs, spices, and berries. Oh my god! Tell me they fixed it. Tell me they actually have audio.
Here we go.
Right? No?
1 second. No? 1 second?
Maybe?
2 seconds?
Good evening.
They fixed it.
Health Education Campus of Case Western Reserve University in the Cleveland.
They fixed it.
Woo! Of Fox News, and I welcome you to the first of the 2020 presidential debates between President Donald J. Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden. This debate is sponsored
Joe
by the
Biden.
Commission on Presidential Debates. The commission has designed the format.
This guy's a robot.
Roughly 15-minute segments.
I thought for a second they were going to say this debate is brought to you by Pepsi and Coke.
Oh my God, that'd be awesome.
Some Great Danes can come together, just like we need to come together as a nation and agree that drinking soft drinks is awesome.
Questions in each topic. I can assure you, none of the questions has been shared with the commission or the two candidates. This debate is being conducted under health and safety protocols designed by the Cleveland Clinic.
Health and safety protocols. Who cares? Get out of Get this fucking idiot out of here. I don't care about this. Bring out the Trump. Bring out the Biden.
Will not shake hands at the beginning of tonight's debate.
Good.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that's why.
They will have. They will jerk each other off though.
No boos or other interruptions, so we, and more importantly you,
they will be
can focus
tased
on what the candidates have to say.
All right, great.
No noise except right now, as we welcome
I'll make some noise.
Yes. Trump, and the Democratic nominee, Vice
It's
President
Trump.
Biden.
It's happening.
It's oh my God, we're here. The moment has come.
Finally.
The time has come, the walrus said, to talk of other things.
Oh, Joe, you look lost already.
He made it to the podium first, though. That's a good sign, right?
Oh my God. I can't tell you how long I've been waiting for this moment.
Good evening.
Tonight's gonna be a bad night.
This night, so let's get going. Our first subject is the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court.
You nominated Amy Coney Barrett over the weekend to succeed the late Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the court.
I wish he'd pull a TJ and say Ruth Bader Ginsburg or Binsburg or whatever the fuck I said.
I bet you was gonna say something positive about RBG and then be like, "Look, we have to do it. It's my job."
To jam through an appointment and what you call an abuse of power. My first question to both of you tonight: why are you right in the argument you make, and your opponent wrong? And where do you think a Justice Barrett would take the court? President Trump, in this first segment, you go first. 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Chris. I will tell you very simply, we won the election. Elections have consequences. We have the Senate, we have the White House, and we have a phenomenal nominee, respected by all, top academic, good in every way.
Paul's right. It's boring.
In fact,
I told you.
I
told you.
Look, that's a great nominee. We won. Elections have consequences.
Fantastic. We have plenty of time. Even if we did it after the election itself. I have a lot of time after the election, as you know. So I think that she will be outstanding. She's going to be as good as anybody that has served on that court. We really feel that. We have a professor at Notre Dame, highly respected by all, said she's the single greatest student he's ever had. He's been a professor for a long time at a great school.
There you go.
We won the election, and therefore we have the right to choose her, and very few people knowingly would say otherwise. And by the way, the Democrats, they wouldn't even think about not doing it. If they had, the only difference is they'd try and do it faster. There's no way they would give it up. They had Merrick Garland, but the problem is they didn't have the election, so they were stopped.
They didn't have, you mean the election of Obama?
In reverse also. Definitely would happen in reverse. So we won the election, and we have the right to do it, Chris.
President Trump, thank you. Same question to you, Vice President Biden. You have 2 minutes.
What was the question?
First of all, thank you for doing this, and looking forward to this, Mr. President.
Thank you, Joe.
The American people have a right to have a say in who the Supreme Court nominee is, and that say occurs when they vote for a United States senator and when they vote for the President of the United States.
Told you fucking guys, dude.
Hey guys, you want like maybe a blanket, some pillows? We just kick back for a couple hours, catch some Z's.
Hey, shut up, guys! I'm trying to sleep over here.
Sorry.
The thing that should happen is we should wait. We should wait and see what the outcome of this election is.
Biden should have put on some orange makeup because he looks real pale standing next to that fucking God King Trump there.
Yeah, you know, Trump's orangeness is really pretty flattering when you think about it.
He wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. He's been running on that. He ran on that, and he's been governing on that.
He ran on that. He manned on that, and he been governing on that.
from having.
You
done
didn't
been
know
gubbing on that.
Now.
It's
He
like
man on that. He
it's
done
like
been gubbing
fucking
on that.
Prozac.
And the justice and I
And fucking
nothing- I'm
Biden
not
fucking
opposed
took,
to
I don't know, a
justice. She
Zoloft.
seems like a very
This
fine
debate is
person.
dead.
But she's written
DOA.
before she went to bed, which is her right. That she
What is
thinks
the
that
shit?
the Affordable
Give it a
Care
minute,
is
though.
constitutional.
Give it a minute.
The other
I want
thing
Trump to be
is
like,
something-
wrong.
if it's
Trump-
struck down, what
Trump
happens?
should have stacked the
Women's
audience
rights
with
are
little
fundamentally
girls with
changed.
hair
Once
that
again,
smells really good.
A woman could be
If he
held
wanted to really
more
throw
money
Sleepy
because
Joe
she has
off.
a pre-existing condition
Oh,
of
what's that
pregnancy.
smell?
We're
It's
able to-
divine.
They were able to charge a woman
Smells
more
like
for the same exact
little
procedure
girl
man
shampoo.
gets. And that ended when we, in fact, passed the Affordable Care Act. And there's 100 million
I
people
tune
with
back in. It's like the
pre-existing
Affordable Care Act. Like,
And
ah,
they'll
still
be
talking about
talking
this shit.
About the Affordable
Those
Care Act, and then
pre-existing insurance companies are going to love this. And so it's just not appropriate.
Trump looks
to
like a
do this
literal ape.
before this election.
Yeah,
he always
Where
does.
the election
He
is
never
decided
doesn't.
Democrat or Republican, and
He
it
does
goes
look like a
forward.
wise old orangutan in a tree.
100 million people with pre-existing conditions.
I am a
As far
monkey.
as the say
Hello.
is concerned, the people already had their say. Okay, Justice Ginsburg said very powerfully, very strongly.
Yep, called
At
it.
some point, 10 years ago or so, she said a president and the Senate is elected for a period of time, but a president's elected for 4 years. We're not elected for 3 years. I'm not elected for 3 years. So we have the Senate, we have a president.
He's elected to the next
During
election.
that period of time, we have an opening. I'm not elected for 3 years. I'm elected for 4 years.
The
And the
election's
100
already
million
started.
people, Joe, the 100 million people is totally wrong. I don't know where you got that number. The bigger problem that you have is that you're going to extinguish 180 million people with their private health care that they're very
That's
happy
simply
with.
not true.
Well, you're certainly
knows
going
that.
to socialist. You're going to socialist medicine.
We're now into open the
Socialist.
You're going to socialist.
You're going to
going to
socialist. Uh-oh, socialist is happening.
He knows
Watch
that,
out.
What I proposed. What I proposed is that we expand Obamacare and we increase it. We do not wipe any. And one of the big debates we had with 23 of my colleagues trying to win the nomination that I won were saying that Biden wanted to allow people to have private insurance still. They can. They do. They will under my proposal.
It's not what you've said,
But
and it's not what
that
your
is-
party has said.
that is
It's
simply
not what you
party
said.
Hasn't said. Your party
is
wants to
simple.
go socialist.
That's not what you said, or that's not what your party has said.
Right now, I
That's
am
not
the
what you said,
Democratic
or that's
you
not
know
what
that.
your
I
party
am the
has said.
Democratic Party right now. The platform
I
of
am the Democratic Party right now.
I, in fact,
Behold the might of the Democratic Party.
the deal is
You know the
that
thing.
it's
I am
gonna
the
wipe out
Democratic Party,
pre-existing
TJ.
conditions. And by the way, the 200,000 people that have died on his watch, how many of those have survived?
How many of
Well,
those?
there's 7 million
How many?
people that
How many?
contracted COVID.
I want
What
some
does it mean
hominy.
for them going forward if you strike down the Affordable Care Act? And
Joe, you've had
pre-existing-
308,000 military people dying because you couldn't provide them
Joe,
proper
let
health
me
care in the
tell you,
military.
man,
So don't
get
tell me
off
about
my
it.
lawn.
talk about that.
No,
If
you
were
get off
here
my
to
lawn.
200, it would be 2
All right.
million people.
Fight.
because you
They're
were
going
very
at
late
it.
on the draw.
Fight.
You
Late
didn't
on
want
the
me to
draw.
ban China, which was heavily infected. You didn't want me to ban
All right, gentlemen,
Europe, which
no,
was heavily
Mr.
infected.
President,
You would have
Mr.
been much
President,
later, Joe.
Mr.
Much
President,
later.
Mr.
You're
President,
talking about 2 million people.
Get pissed, Joe.
moderator.
Call him a dog-faced pony
We're
soldier.
going to talk about COVID in the next.
Ah,
segment,
do the
but-
fucking dog-faced pony soldier routine,
finish.
Joe.
The point is that the president also is opposed to Roe v. Wade. That's on the ballot as well in the court. And so that's also at stake right now. And so the election is already
You don't know it's on the
begun.
ballot. Why is it on the ballot?
Because
Why is it on the ballot?
it's on the ballot in the
I
court.
don't think so.
In the court. Well,
There's nothing happening there.
It's a mirage.
Well, all right. Let's talk.
Help,
this
I'm
is-
stepping
this is,
into the twilight
We
zone.
got a lot of time, so. And then we'll come back to Roe v. Wade. Mr. President, the Supreme Court.
Who will get off whose lawn? Find out on Old Man Dementia
The
Fight.
administration, along
You're gonna
with
calliope,
18 state
dude.
attorneys general, are seeking to overturn
That's right.
Obamacare, to end Obamacare. You have spent the last
Because they
Look,
want to give good health care.
If I may ask my question,
Love
sir.
healthcare.
good health care.
Over the last 4 years, you have promised to repeal and replace Obamacare, but you have never in these 4 years come up with a plan a comprehensive plan
Yes,
to
I have.
replace Obamacare.
Yes, I have. Just
Well,
Yes, I have.
You did roll some out, Trump, and you immediately fucking rescinded it because it was a failure.
Which was a
That is
big
not a
chunk of
comprehensive
That
plan.
is absolutely a big thing. That was the worst
I
part of
didn't
Dude, he's
Obamacare.
fighting with the
The
moderator.
worst part of
Not me.
Obama.
Let me ask my question.
Well, I'll ask Joe.
I no.
Individual mandate.
I'll ask Joe. Going off the rails on a Trumpy train.
And I would like you to let me ask my question, and then you can answer your
ahead.
question.
Terrible question, by the way.
Never come up
Terrible.
With a comprehensive plan to replace
I have.
Obamacare, and
I've
just
got
this
a
last
huge plan.
Thursday, you signed a largely symbolic executive order to protect people with pre-existing conditions 5 days before this debate. So my question, sir, is what is the Trump health care plan?
All right. Well, first of all, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I'm not surprised. Let me just tell you something, that there's nothing symbolic. I'm cutting drug prices. I'm going with favored nations, which no president has the courage to do because you're going against Big Pharma. Drug prices will be coming down 80 or 90%. You could have done it during your 47-year period in government, but you didn't do it.
Damn.
Nobody's done it. So we're cutting health care. All of the things that we've done,
He has not cut
insulin. I give
healthcare.
you an example. Insulin. It was destroying families, destroying people because I'm getting it for so cheap. It's like water. You want to know the truth? So cheap.
Whoa, really?
All of the drugs that-
Insulin
Like water.
Prescription drug
Like that
prices.
cheap,
We're gonna
guys?
allow our governors now
You wanna go down to
other
7-Eleven and get
countries
some
to buy
insulin?
drugs because
When in
they
fact-
pay just a tiny fraction.
As I say,
of
this
what
is
we do.
open discussion.
No,
Let
but
me
this
ask
is
you about,
big.
you'll
This
be
is
happy,
big stuff.
sir. You'll be happy. I'm about to pick up on one of your points to ask the vice president, which is he points out that you would like to add a public option to Obamacare. And
Yes.
the argument that he makes and other Republicans make is that that is going to end private insurance.
It is
and
not.
will, if I can
sorry.
ask you the question, it will
Not what your
end.
party says, by the way.
It will end private insurance and create a government takeover of health care.
It does not. It's only for those people who are so poor they qualify for Medicaid. They can get that free in most states, except governors who want to deny people who are poor Medicaid. Anyone who qualifies for Medicare would, Medicaid. Would
Oh, my
automatically
fucking God,
be enrolled
Joe.
in the public option. The vast majority
Oh,
of American
no.
people would still
Get on top
not
of
be
yourself,
in
man.
That option, number one.
Joe, you
Number two.
agreed with Bernie
Number-
Sanders,
I-
who's
I
far
did-
left, on the manifesto,
When
we
you-
call it.
when
And that
manifest-
gives you socialized medicine.
Look, hey,
Are you
I'm
saying
not
you
going to
didn't
listen to
agree?
him. The fact of the matter is, I beat Bernie.
I'm not even
Sanders.
going to listen to him. Good luck.
Yeah, he's gonna. I'm sure he'll shut right up.
Facing you, old buddy.
Pocahontas would have left
Well,
2
I
days
tell
early.
you,
You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to
on
do
Super
is hurt.
Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well. And tonight I'm going to make
what?
sure because
With what?
here's
He's getting
the deal.
lucky?
Here's the deal. The fact is that
Is he getting a
everything you say
blowjob
so
under that
far
podium?
is a lie.
Here's the
Look,
deal.
if
Listen,
I-
I'm getting
I
lucky
could
tonight.
live
Listen,
with the
oh,
Like a blowjob at the end of the night.
You're the liar.
I want to make sure.
Graduated last in your class, not first in your
I
class.
want to make
Mr.
sure.
President, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has,
You'd be surprised.
you pick.
You'd be
you'd be surprised at
the
what?
wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you agreed with
Here's the
Bernie
deal.
Sanders to the
The whole
manifesto.
idea.
Trump is basically trying to let Joe Biden talk.
Please let him speak, Mr.
Number
President.
two.
You just
No.
lost the left.
I'm not gonna do
Number
it.
two.
He's not gonna do it.
You just lost the left. You agreed with Bernie Sanders on a plan.
Folks,
Absolutely.
folks, do you have any idea what this
Joseph,
mom's
Socialized, they
doing?
call it
Mr.
You
Mr.
have any
President,
do?
socialized
Mr. President,
medicine.
please. Mr. President.
He is not for any help for people needing health care because
Bernie?
because he in fact already has cost 10 million people their health care that they had from their employers because of his recession. Number one. Number two,
yeah.
there are 20 million people getting health care through Obamacare now that he wants to take it away. He won't ever look you in the eye and say that's what he wants to do. Take it away.
No, I want to give them
Number
better
three.
health care at a much lower price.
I want to give them
Obamacare
better
is
health
no-
care,
He doesn't-
much
I've
better
already
price.
Fixed it.
He has never
I've
offered
already
a
fixed
plan.
it to an extent.
He has never
Obamacare,
done a
as you
single
might
thing.
know,
Oh, it's already
but probably
fixed? Great.
don't.
I haven't realized
Obamacare
that.
You realize
is
if you're
no
both
good, Joe.
speaking at the
It's no
same
good,
time.
and it's too
Of
expensive.
course.
Let the president's. Go ahead, sir.
Obamacare is no good. We made it better, and I had a choice to make very early on. We
Don't
took
listen to
away
the moderator,
individual
Joe. Trump
mandate.
and just
We
fucking
guaranteed
talk.
Pre-existing conditions.
Just
but
both-
took away the
Joe doesn't know how to
Just
do
talk
that.
at the same
Remember how
time.
he used to just
Yeah.
like,
This is the way it is.
he used to just
And that
concede to the
destroyed-
moderator.
That-
He
they
always
shouldn't even
does.
call it Obamacare.
I yield the
Then I
rest of my
had a
time.
choice to make. Do I let my people
not-
run it really well,
You got to just talk.
If I run it badly, they'll probably blame him, but they'll blame me. But more importantly, I want to help people, okay? I said, you got to run it so well.
That's what he's
And I
known
just had a meeting with them. They said, the problem is no matter how well you run Obamacare, it's a disaster. It's too expensive. Premiums are too high.
How well you run it.
No matter how well you run it, it doesn't matter. It's just a piece of shit, you know?
But I have to
It's
give
like
you
a
roughly
Pinto.
equal time. Please let the vice president talk.
He has no plan for health care.
Please let the vice president talk,
sends
sir.
out wishful thinking. He has executive orders that have no power. He hasn't lowered drug costs for anybody. He's been
Have no
promising a
power,
health care plan since he got elected. He has none, like almost everything else he talks about. He does not have a plan. He doesn't have a plan. And the fact is, this man doesn't know what he's talking about.
All right,
He's
I have one final question for you,
Sure.
Mr. Vice President.
Look at that.
If Senate
These Trump
Republicans-
expressions,
We
man.
were talking originally about the Supreme Court. Senate Republicans
Reagan taking
go
a smoke
ahead
a fat ass
and
blunt
confirm
before he showed up.
Justice
He's like,
Barrett.
oh, the tries
There
like
has been
Joe's
talk
wrong.
about ending the filibuster
Joe's
or
completely
even
wrong.
packing the court, adding to the 9 justices there. You call this a distraction by the president, but in fact, it wasn't brought up by the president. It was brought up by some of your Democratic colleagues in the Congress. So my question to you is, you have refused in the past to talk about it. Are you willing to tell the American people tonight whether or not you will support either ending the filibuster or packing the court?
Whatever position I take on that, that'll become the issue. The issue is the American people should speak. You should go out and vote. You're in voting now. Vote and let your
Vote
senators
now.
know how strongly
Plan
you feel.
later.
Vote now.
You're gonna pack the
Make sure you in fact
Listen, I'll tell
let
you my
people
plan
know.
after you vote for me. You got to
I'm not
vote
gonna
for me
answer the
first,
question.
then you get the plan.
The question is, the question
Supreme Court
is,
justice,
the
radical
question-
left.
Will you
Who
shut
is
up,
on,
man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe?
This
Who's
is
on your
so
list?
right.
Gentlemen, I think
This
we've
is
ended
so
this.
He's going to pack the
unprecedented.
court.
We have
I'm not going to give a list.
We have
Here's to
ended
call
this
him
segment, and we'll
most
move on to the second
unorthodox,
segment.
No, this is most unorthodox.
I understand, Joe.
They sure do.
47 years.
Most unprecedented, if I do say so
The
myself.
second subject is COVID-19.
I said I was vice president for Obama, a real president.
Let's try to be serious about it. We have had
Sure.
An opponent is being most unpresidential, sir. Most unpresidential indeed.
Have died. Even after we produce a vaccine, experts say that it could be months or even years before
Trump
we
losing,
come
somebody
back
said in
to
the chat.
anything approaching
According to what
normal.
metric?
My question for both of you is, based on what you have said and done so far and what you have said you would do starting in 2021, why should the American people trust you more than your opponent to deal with this public health crisis going forward? In this case, the question goes to you first, sir. 2 minutes uninterrupted.
I feel like the better question is, why would you trust either of these guys with that?
200,000 dead.
Yeah.
As you said, over 7 million infected in the United States. We, in fact, have 5%, 4% of the world's population, 20% of the deaths. 40,000 people a day are contracting COVID. In addition to that, about between 750 and 1,000 people a day are dying. When he was presented with that number, he said, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because you are who you are. That's why it is. The president has no plan. He hasn't laid out anything. He knew all the way back in February how serious this crisis was. He knew it was a deadly disease. What did he do? He's on tape as acknowledging he knew it. He said he didn't tell us or give people a warning of it because he didn't want to panic the American people. You don't panic. He panicked. In addition to that, what did he do? He went in and we were insisting that the Chinese, the people we had on the ground in China should be able to go to Wuhan and determine for themselves how dangerous this was. He did not even ask Xi to do that. He told us what a great job Xi was
China,
doing.
the
He said
Chinese
we owe him
chicken.
a
Did
debt
Trump
of
just do it wrong?
gratitude for being so.
It was so
frank
subdued.
with
It was
us.
like a.
And what did he do then? He then did nothing. He waited and waited and waited. He still doesn't have a plan. I laid out exactly what we should be doing.
So wrong. It's so
and
wrong.
I laid out again in
Tell him how
July
wrong it is.
what we should be
Tell us
doing.
about how wrong it
We
is,
should
Trump.
be providing all the
Preach.
protective
Preach
gear.
the wrong.
We should be providing the money the House has passed in order to be able to go out and get people the help they need to
So
keep their businesses
wrong.
open schools. It cost a lot of money. You should get out of your bunker and get out of the sand trap and get in your golf course
out
and
of your
go in the
bunker.
Oval Office and bring together the Democrats and Republicans and fund what needs to be done now to save lives.
Get out of your
So
bunker.
if we would have listened
Wait,
to
wait,
you,
you have 2 minutes, sir.
if we would have listened to you, the country would have been left wide open. Millions of people would have died, not 200,000. And one person is too much. It's China's fault.
Millions?
It should have
Right,
never
okay.
happened. They stopped it from going in, but it was China's fault. And by the way, when you talk about numbers, you don't know how many people died in China. You don't know how many people died in Russia. You don't know how many people died in India. They don't exactly give you a straight count, just so you understand. But if you look at what we've done, I closed it, and you said he's xenophobic. He's a racist, and he's xenophobic because you didn't think I should
unrelated
have
to
closed
your
our country.
COVID.
No,
Wait a
sir,
minute.
It says 2 minutes.
You didn't think we should have closed our country because you thought it was terrible. You wouldn't have closed it for another 2 months. By my doing it early, in fact, Dr. Fauci said, President Trump saved thousands of lives. Many of you Democrat governors said, President Trump did a phenomenal job. We worked with the governor. Oh, really? Go take a look. The governors said I did a phenomenal job. Most of them said that. In fact, people that were
Okay, I was
not
wrong. This
necessarily
is
on my
great.
side
Most of them said that.
President Trump did a phenomenal job. We did. We got the gowns. We got the masks. We made the ventilators. You wouldn't have made ventilators. And now we're weeks
You
away
wouldn't have
from
done
a
that.
vaccine.
I
We're
wanna-
Never
doing
would
a
have
vaccine.
fucking occurred to
Fewer
you.
people are
Who did everything
dying when they
right?
get sick. Far fewer people are dying.
You wouldn't have made
We've done a
more of
great
something
job.
that we
The
needed
only thing
more
I
of.
haven't done
Only
good
I
job,
think
and
a
that's because of
smart
fake
thing
news.
like that.
I
No matter
know,
what
what
you
the
say
fuck?
to them, they give you bad press. on it. It's
Be
just fake
smart.
news.
That's a
They
little
give you
dumb.
bad press. They give me bad press because that's the way it is, unfortunately. But let me just tell you something. I don't care.
Aw,
I've got
poor
news
Trump,
for you.
dude.
But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job
know what I
that we
mean?
did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job.
I
In
know
his
how to do
blood,
the
dude.
job. I know how
Right
to
in
get
his
the
blood,
job
Well, you
dude.
didn't do very well in swine flu. H1N1, you were a disaster. Your own chief of staff said you were a disaster.
14,000 people died, not 200,000. There was
A
no
very-
economic recession.
Sir, you made a
Far
no,
less
there was no
lethal
recession.
disease,
you made
by
a
the way.
point. Let him answer
And
it.
there was we didn't shut down the economy. This is his economy he's shut down. The reason it's shut down is because, look, you folks at home, how many of you got up this morning and had an empty chair at the kitchen table because someone died of COVID? How many of you were in a situation where you lost your mom or dad and you couldn't even speak to them? You had a nurse holding a phone up so you could, in fact, say goodbye.
You would have lost far
How
more
many
people.
people?
Far
That is-
more people.
And
You would have been
And by the way,
months late.
your own
You were
his
months
his
behind.
own
half the population.
CDC director says
you guys
that
don't
he loses
understand.
as another
I don't even understand.
200,000 people between now and the end of the year. And he held
Is there like a weird
wear a mask? We can say
sound happening here?
Just a mask.
Yeah, I'm getting like a weird
By the
clicking
way,
noise.
In terms of the
What's going on?
There's a clicking kind
There's like a weird clicking sound that's happening on the debate audio.
Not for me.
Okay.
Nobody is.
No, we're
Well, me-
hearing it. So
Scotty and I can hear it, and it's been picked up on my system too, I'm sure. All right, should I try to put it back on?
I'm going to ask.
Oh, God, yeah.
Focusing on the future first. President
Ooh.
Trump, you have repeatedly.
Oh, that's awful.
kill that. Oh man.
Yeah, that's not even.
So I
I'm
don't.
not sure what.
I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe switch back to the C-SPAN one or something.
I mean, I can try to. It doesn't. It sounds fine for me.
It's definitely not fine on our end. You're gonna have to go to live.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. This.
You muted up.
Slawi, the head of your Operation Warp Speed, has said exactly the
Oh
same
God,
thing.
no.
This name.
Yeah, it's the same. I don't know. You might want to. Maybe it's on
Why
the
don't you-
on the end of the stream or something.
On the what?
I thought maybe it's on this Discord's in on the stream.
Okay.
Hmm.
What does that mean?
I mean, like close the stream and then start it again.
I'm not. I'm not the one streaming.
You're
Oh, you mean
streaming.
like streaming?
Yeah, I
in
mean
Discord?
your stream on the.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we'll try it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just being finicky.
Okay. Let me see here.
Set up logistically, they're all
Oh, that's
set
better.
up.
Yeah.
We have our military.
fixed.
Yeah, that fixed it.
Okay,
And they can
weird.
do 200,000 a day. They're going to be
This is
delivering
the
the
same man
It's
who
all
told
set
you
up.
by Easter this would be gone away. By the warm weather, it'd be gone. Miraculous, like a miracle. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the
That
same
was
man.
said sarcastically.
That was
That was sarcastically. It was not. It was not.
Talking about vaccine. Every serious company is talking about maybe having a vaccine done by the end of the year, but the distribution of that vaccine will not occur until sometime beginning or the middle of next year to get it out, if we get the vaccine. And pray God we will. Pray God we will.
Mr. Vice President, I want to pick up
You'll have
on
the
that.
vaccine
I
sooner
want to
than
pick
that.
up on this question, though. You say the public.
I want to
can trust
pick up
the
on this
scientists,
question,
they
though.
can't trust President Trump. In fact, you said that again tonight. Your running mate, Senator Harris, goes further, saying the public health experts, quote, will be muzzled, will be suppressed. Given the fact that polls already show that people are concerned about the vaccine and are reluctant to take it, are you and your running mate, Senator Harris, contributing to that fear?
No more than the question you just asked him. You pointed out. He puts pressure and disagrees with his own scientists.
But you're saying
Everybody
you can't,
knows.
Senator
Do you know how
Harris,
Trump
you
can win one of these
trust the
debates?
Well, no, you can't.
Trump has
trust
pulled
the
out a vial and just does like
didn't
every
say that.
scammer does. Like, look, I've
He
got the
said
vaccine
the
right
public health
here.
experts, quote,
What?
Hold on.
muzzled,
Like now,
Well,
is Scotty
that's
clipping
what he's
real
gonna
bad
try
for
to do,
you?
but
Yeah.
there are millions of scientists. There's thousands
clipping?
of scientists out there.
Not-
like
every
Not
time
now,
you talk.
but that was
that
when you
don't
talked a minute ago.
work
You
for
were.
him.
Like,
Their job doesn't depend on him.
back off your
That's
mic a
not-
little,
they're
or
the
turn
people.
down how
And
hot
by
it
the way,
is
to
in
the
your
scientists
system
that are
settings
in
or some
charge, by the
shit.
way,
They will have
and
the vaccine very soon.
Let him finish.
do
All right,
you
how about now?
believe for a moment
Better.
what he's telling you in light of all the lies he's told you about the whole issue relating to COVID? He still hasn't even acknowledged that he knew this was happening.
So
He knew
it seems
how
like
dangerous
Biden's
it would
strategy is to be like
back in February,
the sad
and he
guy.
didn't
It's
even
just
tell
so
you.
sad
He's
how
on record
badly
as
this
saying
president has
he
failed us,
panicked
right, you
or he
guys?
just looked at the stock market.
Yeah.
One of the two.
It's so
Because
sad
guess what?
that he's
lot
such a
people
piece
The
of
die,
shit.
sad guy.
and a lot more are gonna
And then
die
Trump
unless
is
he gets a lot
just doing his
smarter, a
usual
lot
shtick.
further.
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Well, let's have this debate.
And if
We'll
you
see
would have
who's
had, let me just tell you something, Joe.
No,
If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See,
and it's
We're going to
going
get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next segment, sir.
Okay.
It's going up fast. I look
Okay.
forward to talking.
When it comes to how the virus has been handled so far, the two of you have taken very different approaches, and this is going to affect how the virus is handled going forward by whichever of you ends up becoming the next president. I want to quickly go through several of those. Reopenings. Vice President Biden, you have been much more reluctant than President Trump about reopening.
I was
the
kind of
economy
right and
schools.
kind of wrong
Why,
about
sir?
this one. It's
Because
really
you don't have a
boring with
plan.
bursts
If I
of
were running,
not.
I know what the plan is. You've got to provide.
Just wait for the dam to break, dude.
businesses the ability to have the money.
We're
to
seeing
be
little
able to
cracks
reopen
form in the
with
dam.
PPE,
I'm just waiting
as
for the
well
dam to
as with
break.
the sanitation they need. You have to
Tell
provide
that to
them
Nancy
plastic.
Pelosi.
I'm wait.
Okay?
Tell that to Nancy
Well,
Pelosi.
he just shush for a minute.
Just tell him to shut the fuck up,
And
dude.
Schumer,
By the
Brian
way,
Chuck.
Nancy
Seriously,
Shush.
say it,
Schumer,
Joe.
they
That'll
have a
get you
plan.
elected.
Yeah, just
He
be like,
won't
just
even
look to.
meet with them.
You need to look right at Trump and be like, could you shut the fuck
And
up?
He sits on his golf course. And, I mean, literally, think about it.
You probably
All right,
play
think
more than
about
I
it.
do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact
He wants to shut
I hate
down-
Joe's fake like
And I wanna
amusement
keep it open.
His,
when Trump
yeah,
says
his laugh
shit.
it off face is bullshit. He needs to attack and not laugh everything off.
Yeah, Joe. Every time you're doing that laugh and like I'm above all this, instead just get in the mud and attack him.
Because we didn't know anything about the disease. Now we found
That's what you got to
that
do.
elderly people with heart problems and diabetes and different problems are very, very vulnerable. We learned a lot. Young children aren't. Even younger people aren't. We've learned a lot. But he wants to shut it down. More people will be hurt by continuing. If you look at Pennsylvania, if you look at certain states that have been shut down, they have Democrat governors all. One of the reasons they're shut down is because they want to keep it shut down until after the election on November 3rd.
I want to move on to another
because
subject.
it's a
I want to move
political
on to
thing.
another
I've
subject.
got to
But
respond.
those,
to that.
I
but
wanna
those
move-
states,
gentlemen, I
those
wanna move
states
on to
are
another
not
subject.
doing well that are shut
But
down
just
right
I've
now.
got to respond to that.
Wants to
President
shut
Trump,
down the
you
whole
have
country.
begun to increasingly question the
No,
effectiveness.
Joe, you're just gonna
of
let that one
masks as a
slide, huh?
disease preventer.
Just
And
like you're
in
gonna let
fact,
everything
recently you
slide
cited
in the election, aren't
issue
you,
of
Joe?
waivers
Let it
touching on masks
slide.
in
Let
such
it
and such.
slide.
Are
No
you
reason.
questioning
No, I think
the
masks are
efficacy of
okay.
Let
You have to
let
understand,
fucking
if you
Trump
look, I mean, I have a
slide
mask
his
right
way
here.
to
I'll
3
put
months
the
ahead of
mask
you on the
it
campaign
when I think I
trail.
need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to. But I
Just
wear
like your
masks
rallies.
when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from it. He shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say
Vice President Biden, go ahead, sir.
Look, the way to open businesses is give them the wherewithal to be able to open. We provided money. The Congress.
But I was asking you, sir, about masks.
Well, masks make a big difference. His own head of the CDC said if we just wore masks between now, everybody wore masks in social distance between now and January, we'd probably save up to 100,000 lives. It matters.
And they've also said the opposite.
But what about Economos?
No serious person said the opposite.
Economos has said the opposite.
Economos has spoken. No mask.
Mask for the weak, thin the herd, herd immunity.
I'm okay with masks.
I want to ask you both about one last subject because your different approaches is even.
Joe's
affected
getting
the way that you
railroaded,
have
dude.
campaigned.
Am I wrong in
Trump,
that
you're holding
interpretation?
large rallies with crowds
No, he's being way
thousands
he's
of
way
people.
too passive. I don't think he's getting
Yes, sir.
I don't think he's getting butt fucked,
Vice
but
President
the
Biden,
the dick is at the precipice of his butthole, and he's not resisting nearly
What
enough.
insult would I give to it, Paul? I would say he's getting schooled. I wouldn't say he's getting butt
In any case, why you holding the big rallies?
There's a lot of
why
debate.
You not? You goes first, sir.
Because people want to hear what I have to say. I mean,
But are you
I've
not
done a
worried
great
about it
job.
spreading
I'm a stable genius. Of course they want to know what I think.
35,000 people show up at airports. We use airports.
Are you
and
not worried
hangars,
about
and we
the
have a
disease
lot of
issues,
people.
sir?
Well, so far we have had no problem whatsoever. It's outside. That's a big difference, according to the experts.
Dude,
And we do
Trump,
them
you killed
outside. We
Herman
have
Cain, though,
tremendous
dude.
Crowds, as you see.
You killed him because of your rally.
We don't mention
and
that name,
literally on
Scotty.
24 hours notice.
Oh, sorry.
And Joe does the circles and has 3 people someplace.
Okay.
By the way, did you see
Yes, sir.
one of the last big rallies he had? And a reporter came up to him to ask him a question. He said, no, stand back. Put on your mask. Put on a mask. Have you been tested? I'm way far away from those other people. That's what he said. I'm going to be okay. He's not worried about you. He's not worried about the people out there breathing in one another.
We've had no
the
negative
cheek to
effect.
jowl. No negative effect.
We've had no negative.
Bring up Herman Cain. Bring up Herman Cain. Bring up Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. Herman
Bring up
Cain.
Herman
Joe, be
Cain.
like, you know what, Trump?
So easy. Give me. It's a
You
dunk.
killed Herman Cain.
It's a slam dunk.
He's fucking dead, dude.
Social distancing and people.
His
wearing
social media
masks,
account is not there. His
basically
Twitter is still
encouraging them
alive.
to.
All right.
Ben, he's a
He
fool.
lives on.
If you could get
Twitter.
the crowds, you would have done the same thing. But you can't. Nobody cares.
Gentlemen,
Joe.
can we move on
Nobody
to the
cares.
Gentlemen,
Nobody
can we move
cares,
on to the
Joe.
economy?
Yes.
Nobody
Nobody
loves
cares,
Economy
Joe. You're a loser, Joe.
Is, I
I'm
think
gonna
it's fair
win.
to say, recovering faster than expected from the shutdown.
Much faster.
In the second quarter, the unemployment rate fell to 8.4% last month. The Federal Reserve says the hit to growth, which is going to be there, is not going to be nearly as big as they had expected. President Trump, you say we are
Economos
in a
is pleased.
Vice President Biden, you say it's more
His
of a
gears are once again grinding.
Does that
Yes.
It needs meat,
to
though.
the American
Feed
people?
me the blood of the workers. Yes.
We built the greatest economy in history. We closed it down.
Yes, praise
When the
my
virus came in, we
strength.
Closed it down, which was very hard
Dude,
psychologically
economists need to
do.
be a
He didn't
demon,
think we
dude.
should close it
A
down.
demon
and
in
he was
D&D.
wrong. And again, 2 million people would be dead now.
Ah,
Still,
your
240,000
blowjob
people.
pleases,
1%
Economos.
Should have never happened from China. But what happened is we closed it down, and now we're reopening, and we're doing record business. We had 10.4 million people in a 4-month period that we've put back into the workforce. That's a record the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. And he wants to close down he will shut it down again. He will destroy this country. You know,
He will
people
destroy
do
this country,
drugs and
dude.
Alcohol. And
It's gonna just be
depression.
fucking rubble.
When you start shutting it down, you take a look at what's happening at some of your Democrat-run states where they have these tough shutdowns. And I'm telling you, it's because they don't want to open it. One of them came out last week. You saw that. Oh, we're going to open up on November 9th. Why November 9th? Because it's after the election. They think they're hurting
it's a
us.
conspiracy.
They're hurting people.
QAnon.
People know what to do.
Hey, it's
They
the
can
deep
social
state.
Distance, they can wash the hands,
QAnon
they
is
can wear
gonna
masks,
fucking go
they can
ape
do
shit
whatever
over
they
this
want.
one.
But they got to open these states up. When you look at
They go ape
North
shit over
Carolina,
anything that
when you
has
look
Trump
at
in it.
No, I know, but
Oh my God! Look, Trump
Pennsylvania,
called them out November
Michigan,
9th
and a
after the
couple others,
election. Of course.
You got to open these states up.
It
It's
all
not
makes
fair.
sense
You're talking
now.
about almost it's like being in prison. And you look at what's going on with divorce. Look at what's going on with alcoholism and drugs. It's a very, very sad
Or it could be
thing.
the fact
And
that
I
these
want
are
I
problems
like
related here
alcoholism
by
and
the
drugs.
close
pandemic.
down the whole country and destroy our country.
The divorce rate was
Our country
high
is
already.
coming back incredibly well, setting records as it does.
All these-
it. We don't need
Not to
somebody
mention,
come
drug
in
use
and
rates
say,
were
"Let's
higher
shut
than
it
ever,
down."
especially
All right.
opiates.
Your 2 minutes, sir. We're now moved to you. As I said, posing the question, the president says it's a V-shaped recovery. You say it's a K-shaped recovery. What's the difference?
The difference is millionaires and billionaires like him in the middle of the COVID crisis have done very well. Billionaires have made another $300 billion because of his profligate tax proposal and
Where am I?
focus on the market. But you folks at home,
They made a lot of money.
Oh my God.
blame on and all the small towns and working class.
He's just
towns.
laying on this fucking
How will you do?
schmaltz
This guy paid
while
Well,
barely
here's the
being
difference.
coherent.
in taxes.
He's all prepped and
Sir,
shit.
Sir, it's his
Yep.
Yeah, I understand. You've agreed to the 2 minutes.
He's like,
so
I
please
didn't
let him
expect
have it.
Biden's
get my
performance
time back.
tonight to be so
The fact is
schmaltzy
that
and
he
sentimental
has, in
and
fact,
like,
worked on this
listen,
in a way that
folks,
he's gonna be the
he,
first president
Trump
of the
just
United
don't
States
love you the way that
in
I do.
office, having fewer
Trump's a
jobs
big old
in
meanie.
his administration
I'm a
than when
sweetie
he became
pie.
president.
Let me tell you something, folks. In a
When he
little
became
town,
the
there's
first
a
one in
little
American
train
history.
that comes
Secondly,
through
the
every
people who
day at
have
3
lost their
o'clock.
jobs are
And a
those
little
people who
guy
have
that
been
sells
on the front
grain
lines.
unloads
Those people who
bales
have
of
been
grain
saving
off of
our
that
lives.
train,
Those people
folks.
who have been out there
That's
dying.
America.
People who've been putting themselves in the way to make sure that we could all try to make it. And the idea that he is insisting that we
Trump, dude. He just fucking look at his fucking
the
face.
states in America with a
It is a
significant
fucking
increase
little bloated.
in COVID deaths
Dude,
and
Trump
COVID
looked like he's in
in
detention.
the United States.
He reminds me of
He
Clifford,
wants to open it up more.
the
Why
Martin
does he wanna
Short
open it up?
thing,
Why
dude,
doesn't
where
he
it's
take
like he
care of
looks
the
like
American- You can't
a
fix the
grown man
economy
trying to pretend
until
to be
you
a little
fix the
kid.
COVID crisis. And he has
But
no
instead, he just
intention
like
of
he's a
doing
grumpy
anything
little
about
kid.
Making it better for you all at home in terms of your health and your safety. Schools. Why aren't schools open? Because it costs a lot of money to open them safely. You know, they were going to give, his administration was going to give the teachers and school students masks. And then they decided, no, couldn't do that because it's not a national emergency. Not a national emergency. They've done nothing to help small businesses. Nothing. They're closing. 1 in 6 is now gone. He ought to get on the job and take care of the needs of the American people so we can open safely.
All right. Your time is up, sir. We are going to get to...
I have to respond to that.
Well, you both had 2 minutes, sir.
Excuse me, he made a statement.
So did you.
People want their
So did you.
I
love that.
He doesn't care.
Okay, made a statement.
That's what you do, Joe. Remember when you were trying to get your fucking word in edgewise and you couldn't do it, and the moderator told you to be quiet and you did? Look how Trump does it.
People want their
Moderator
places
tells him,
open.
no, you can't
They wanna
talk.
get back to
Trump
their
just talks
lives.
anyway.
They'll be
That's what you
careful,
got to
but
do.
They want their schools open.
People want
I'm
to
the
be
one that
safe.
brought back football. By the way, I brought back Big Ten football.
Trump bring back FUBA.
Oh, FUBA good. Trump bring back FUBA. Pray Trump.
Gentlemen, we're going to get to your economic
Trump
plan
good.
going forward.
Trump bring back FUBA.
President,
I
as you
miss
well know, there's a
FUBA.
new report
FUBA.
that
Look
in
at FUBA again.
2016,
Okay,
When
I
no-
know
you were
Trump.
elected president
With no
in
FUBA,
2017.
Thag's
Your
dad.
first year as
What
president,
Biden
that
Now
No
FUBA back.
No Biden.
Thag
$150
happy.
a year in federal income tax each of those years. I know that you pay a lot of other taxes, but I'm asking you the specific question. Is it true that you paid $750 in federal income taxes each of those 2 years?
I paid millions of dollars in taxes, millions of dollars of income tax. And let me just tell you, there was a story in one of the papers.
Show us your tax
I paid
returns.
$38 million 1 year. I paid $27 million.
Show us your tax
1 year.
return.
We've already
I
seen
went-
them, Joe.
You'll see it as soon as it's finished. You'll see it. You know, if you want to do, go to the Board of Elections. There's a 118-page or so report that says everything I have, every bank I have, I'm totally under-leveraged because the assets are extremely good, and we have a very, I built
Sir,
a great
I'm asking
company.
you a specific question, which
But
is...
let me tell you-
I understand all of that.
Release your
I
tax
understand
return.
all of that.
But let me-
No, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you a question. Will you tell us how much
Damn,
you
Chris
paid
Matthews
in
just
federal
wrangled
income
Trump.
taxes in 2016
It's not Chris Matt. What's his name?
Millions of
Chris
dollars.
Or whatever his
Chris
name
Wallace.
is.
Whatever the fuck his name
Millions
is.
of dollars.
Chris
Wallace.
Chris Wallace. Yeah, yeah,
And
Wallace.
you'll get to see it. And you'll get to see
When?
it. But let
And
me just
Shala?
tell you, Chris, let me just tell you something, that it was the tax laws. I don't want to pay tax. Before I came here, I was a private developer. I was a private business people. Like every other
I was a private
person, unless
business
they're
people?
stupid, they go through
Holy shit.
the
I'm a
laws,
people.
and that's what it is. He passed a tax bill that gave us all these privileges for depreciation and for tax credits. We build a building and we get tax credits, like the hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue. You get a massive, which, by the way, was given to me by the Obama administration, if you can believe that. Now, the man got fired right after that happened. But
Vice President Biden, you want to respond?
Yeah, I do want to respond.
Dude, Trump is such a
Tax
slippery
code
snake.
that
I know.
made him
Oh, of course.
position
He's
that
so
he
good
pays
at
less
it.
tax than a school teacher on the money a school teacher makes is because of him he says he's smart because he can take advantage of the tax code. And he does take advantage of the tax code. That's why I'm going to eliminate the Trump tax cuts. And I'm going to eliminate those tax cuts and make sure that we invest in the people who, in fact, need the help. People out there need help.
But why didn't you do it over the last 25 years?
Because you weren't president. Because you weren't president screwing things up.
You were a senator. And
You're
by
the
way,
worst
you were a
president
vice-
America has ever had.
Hey,
Come
Joe,
on.
let me just say,
Okay.
I've done more in
The worst
in
president
47
America
years.
ever
I've done more
had.
than you've
Come
done in
on.
47 years, Joe. We've done things that you never even thought of doing, including
Gentlemen.
fixing the broken military that you gave me, including taking care of
We're
your
talking,
vets.
Mr. President, we're talking about
The
the
military
economy.
was
I'd
not
like to ask
broken.
you
That's
about
bullshit.
your
It was
plans
completely
going forward,
broken.
because, Mr. Vice President, your economic plan, if you were to be elected president, focuses a lot on big government, big taxes, big spending. I want to focus first on the taxes. You propose more than $4 trillion over a decade in new taxes on individuals making more than $400,000 a year and on corporations. President Trump says that that kind of an increase in taxes is going to hurt the economy as it's just coming out of a recession.
Well, just take a look at what the analysis done by Wall Street firms. Points out that my economic plan would create 7 million more jobs than his in 4 years, number one. And number
Trump just
two,
gets the
it would
bullshit.
create an additional $1 trillion in economic growth, because it would be about buying American. That we're going to make this federal government spend $600 billion a year on everything from ships to steel to buildings and the
To
like.
dildos.
And under my proposal, we're going to make sure that
The crank
every
is starting to
penny of
set
that
in,
has to
dude.
be
Biden
made
is starting to get
by
that old man
But, Mr. Secretary,
crankiness.
so I'm talking
I think he
about
needs
taxes,
it.
not
I really think he needs to lean into the cranky angle.
Serve him here.
I think it will. I think it makes him more aggressive.
28%. It shouldn't be 21%.
See, but instead of, you're the worst president of all time. Come on, man. He'd be like, listen here, Sonny. You're the worst damn president I ever seen in my life. Get off my lawn.
The tax rate discussion is bullshit anyways. Because rich people they don't make a paycheck or a salary. It's capital gains. It's all in stocks. This is total bullshit.
Mr. President, let me pick up on that. You would continue your free market approach, lower taxes.
Fucking Biden was just in the middle of talking about something.
And he just stops. Dead in his tracks. The second the moderator tells him to stop, he stops.
It turns out that in Obama's
Sorry, Paul, go ahead.
3 years as president,
Or whatever this dork's name it. What's this dork's name again?
Wallace.
Chris
Wallace. Chris Wallace.
In the first 3 years,
He lets him stop and pitch it to Trump.
Since economic recovery since 1929.
What a slow fucking idiot.
The slowest recovery. Also, they took over something that was down here. All you had to do is turn on the lights and you pick up a lot. But they had the slowest economic recovery since 1929. Let me tell you about the stock market. When the stock market goes up, that means jobs. It also means 401ks. If you got in, if you ever became president with your ideas, you want to terminate my taxes, I'll tell you what, you'll lose half of the companies that have poured in here will leave, and plenty of companies that are already here, they'll leave for other places.
They've been doing that for
Leave,
decades.
and you will have a depression the likes of which you've never seen.
Look,
Mr.
we
Vice President.
inherited the worst recession short of a depression in American history. I was asked to bring it back. We were able to have an economic recovery that created the jobs you're talking about. We handed him a booming economy. He blew it.
It wasn't
He blew
booming.
it. He blew it.
It wasn't booming. It was the weakest recovery
Well, sir, is it
since
fair to, wait,
wait,
is it fair to say he blew it when, in
When
fact,
COVID came in.
when there was record low unemployment before COVID?
Yeah, but because what he did, even before COVID, manufacturing went in the hole. Manufacturing went in the hole.
Excuse
number
me,
one.
Chris. Wait.
Number two.
Chris.
Number three.
He
They
likes
said
things
it
going
would
in the
take- no,
hole.
you were number 2.
No.
Chris. They said it would
This
take
guy
a
is
miracle to bring back manufacturing.
He's just gonna let him do it, though. He's gonna
This guy. Oh,
and he's just gonna let fucking Trump run
Oh,
roughshod over him like a big
cheapers.
old
Oh.
bitch.
I did. I did a tremendous job. I did
I
great.
was asked to bring back Chrysler and General Motors. We brought them back right here in the state of Ohio and Michigan. He blew it. They're gone. He blew it. And in fact, they're going.
Ohio had the best year it's ever had last year. Michigan had the best year they've ever had.
That is not
Many
true.
car companies came in from Germany, from Japan, went to Michigan, went to Ohio.
They're not having.
And they didn't come in with you.
Mr. Vice President, go ahead.
And so you take a look at what he's actually done. He's done very little. His trade deals are the same way. He talks about these great trade deals. You know, he talks about the art of the deal. China's perfected the art of the steal. We have a higher deficit with China.
That wasn't a
now than we
rehearsed
did
line
before.
at all.
We have a highest
He
trade
talks about
deficit
the deal and then China.
Yeah, the deficit. I will say that is true, though. The deficit with China has
And
done
no
nothing but
wonder your
increase,
son goes in
and
and
Trump's trade
takes
policies
out-
have made.
Yeah,
no
but
effect
it just
on
it has that same
Billions
Hillary
of
vibe of
dollars.
like trumped
Takes out
up,
billions of
trickle
dollars to
down. Remember
manage
that?
Oh, I
billions of
know.
dollars. And
Believe me, I
folks,
understand it's a lot more than the
Why
numbers.
is it? Just out of
While
curiosity.
Trump was talking about the art of the deal, China was talking about the art of the steal. You're gonna kill him with that line, Joe. All right, you're gonna get out there. You're gonna talk about the art of the steal, Joe.
That is true.
Oh, really? He didn't
Totally,
get
No.
$3.5
It's gonna kill.
President,
it's
Mr.
totally,
President, please.
totally
ask the question.
discredited. Totally discredited. And by the way,
Well, wait, he didn't get
No, no.
$3.5 million, Joe?
Mr. Vice,
He got
Mr.
$3.5
President,
million.
it is not true.
Oh,
Here's-
really?
Mr.
Oh.
President,
But, Mr.
it's an open discussion, please.
Now,
It's a fact.
Well,
There's- it
you
is
have
not a
raised an
fact.
issue. Let the
It's been
Vice
totally
President answer.
discredited.
Did
There was a
Burisma pay him
report.
$183,000 a month with no experience in energy?
Mr.
Look,
President,
my
job?
son did nothing wrong at Burisma.
I think he did.
and
Mr.
the only guy
President,
that
let him
did
answer.
He doesn't want to let me answer because he knows I have the truth. His position has been totally, thoroughly discredited.
who?
And
The media?
By everybody. Well, by the
By the
media,
media,
by our
because they refuse to
allies, by
talk
the
about it
World
because they're
Bank,
embarrassed.
by everyone has discredited. Matter of fact,
Mr.
even the people
President,
who
please stop.
testified under ooth.
Mr. President, please stop. Please stop, Mr. President.
He got $3.5 million.
He testified under oath in his administration. Said,
Mr. President,
"I did my job
please.
and I did it very
Please
well."
stop, Mr. President. Leave him alone.
Well, I'll give you the list. of the people who
Stop,
said
he's
that.
already
Sure,
dead.
You've already fired most of them because they did a good job.
Some people don't
Well,
do a good
here's
job. With you,
Go
they
ahead.
say
You
that-
get
here's the
wait a
deal.
minute. You get the final word, Mr.
Well, it's hard to get any word in with this clown. Excuse me, this.
Hey,
this
let me just
person.
say,
No, no, no.
No,
Mr.
you should have.
President,
No, don't correct
Very
it.
simply-
Clown was good.
$3.5 million
It
from
did-
Moscow.
Look,
Who the fuck
here's
told
deal.
Joe not to
You
call
wanna
him a
talk
clown?
about
Why did he
families
walk it
and
back?
I don't want to do that.
Are they doing this
his
stupid
family
let's go
talked
high
about all
again
this. His
shit?
family's
My
already-
family,
No, no, let him go.
my family owns a
What the
fortune for
fuck?
coming down and helping
Go
us
ahead.
with
Go ahead,
government.
sir.
And that's such a.
they're right
Go
here.
ahead, Mr.
Oh my
President.
God.
Every single one of them lost
This
a
is not
fortune
about
by
my
President.
coming and
family or his
helping us with
family. It's
government.
about your family,
They
the
didn't collect
American people.
$3.5 million
He
for
doesn't.
nothing.
That's not true. It doesn't.
not gonna let you
want to
pivot,
talk
Joe.
about what you need. You, the American people. It's about you. That's what we're talking about.
you
here.
should-
So,
All right,
guys,
that's the end
by
of
the way, I'm
segment.
looking at the
We're
trade
moving-
deficit with
we're moving
China,
on.
There's- you
and
didn't take them.
it's
Vice
pretty much the
President,
same.
Chris,
No,
can I be honest?
The
It's
trade
very
deficit with China is pretty much the same as what?
Listen.
He
The answer to
And
the
he
question is
threatened
no.
Ukraine
No, sir.
with $1 billion
Sir,
if you don't
That
get rid of
is
the trust.
You know what?
absolutely not
Stop.
true.
Tape
You're
doing it.
You're going to
You're on
have
tape.
True.
gentlemen.
Is-
I hate to raise
Chris,
my voice,
he's
but I
on
see it seems
tape.
to be. Why shouldn't I be different than the two of you? So here's the
Got a
deal.
good point.
We have 6 segments. We have ended that segment. We're going to go to the next segment. In that segment, you each are going to have 2 uninterrupted moments. In those 2 uninterrupted minutes, Mr.
No
President,
one's gonna get any
anything you
uninterrupted
want.
anything. Okay.
I'm going to ask a question.
Maybe Trump
Why
might.
If you want to answer about
Why is
something else,
this
go ahead.
fool mentioning me?
I think that the country would be better served if we allowed both people to speak with fewer interruptions. I'm appealing to you, sir, to do that.
Well, and him too.
Well, frankly, you've been doing
No,
more
not
than-
him too. What the fuck? No.
Less than, I
love it.
Let's please continue.
What about him? What about
The
fairness?
issue of
It's like
right.
you're the
Vice
one
President
doing
Biden,
it,
you say,
dipshit.
What about pushover over there?
TJ, you remember in Richmond when there were good people on both sides?
Yep.
when he
Of course.
talked about
Yep.
very fine people
You're right.
on both sides.
Fine
There you
people on
go.
both
That
sides.
directly led
There you go. Right there.
to launch this run for president. Oh, yeah. President Trump, you have often said that you believe you have done more for black Americans than any president, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. My question for the two of you is, why should voters trust you rather than your opponent to deal with the race issues facing this country over the next 4 years? Vice President Biden, you go first.
It's about equity and equality. It's about decency. It's about the Constitution. And we have never walked away from trying to require equity.
I'm going
for
to walk
everyone,
away and take a
equality for
piss.
the
'cause-
whole American
Oh,
people.
Biden's talking?
We've never accomplished it.
Unzip.
We've never walked away from it like he has done.
He'll still be
It is true. The
stuttering
reason I
by
got
the
in
time
race is
TJ gets
those
back
people-
on this
those
one
guys,
line.
Remember what those people look like coming out of the fields carrying torches, their veins bulging, just spewing anti-Semitic bile, and accompanied by the Ku Klux Klan. A young woman got killed, and they asked the president what he thought. He said there were very fine people on both sides.
Ah,
no
there you guys go.
president's ever said anything like that.
It is his
Now,
2
second,
minutes, sir.
second point I'd make to you is that when Floyd was killed, when Mr. Floyd was killed, there was a peaceful protest in front of the White House. What did he do? He came out of his bunker, had the military use tear gas on him so he could walk across to a church and hold up a Bible. And then what happened after that? The bishop of that very church said that it was a disgrace. The general who was with him said all he ever wants to do is divide people, not unite people at all.
Paul, can you imagine
This is
playing
a
like
president
telephone
who
with
has
Biden?
used
It'd just be
everything
one
as
other
a
person.
dog
Okay, we're gonna tell
whistle
Biden the
to try
message, then we're gonna give it to
generate
you.
racist
He'd be like, I have no
hatred,
fucking
racist
clue what the original
division.
message
This
was.
is a man who,
Oh,
in
fuck.
fact, you talk about helping African Americans.
He came out of the bunker, then he saw a general, and then he tap danced, and then the KKK showed up. It's like, Biden, you have
And then the
You didn't know what to
KKK
say.
arrived.
1 in 500 will
No,
have been killed.
dude.
1
Biden's
in
just a
500
disaster.
African Americans.
That's how you know
This
TJ
man-
is back, by
this
the way.
man
He
is
takes
the-
whatever
is the
the little
savior of
blurb that he
African-Americans.
hears
This
of
And I just
yours
sing a
and
song
then
about it.
sings it.
Because that's
took my baby away.
it's a good way to announce that I'm back if they can't actually see me.
You
So
have to look at what he
One of
did.
these times, I hope you come back while I'm saying some word that's horrible to rhyme with anything.
President Trump, you have 2 minutes. Why
I'll just
should
make up a nonsense word.
Americans trust you
Orange,
over
orange,
your
it
opponent?
rhymes with borange. You know,
1994,
it doesn't matter.
where you call them super predators, African Americans are super predators, and they've never forgotten it. They've never forgotten it, Joe.
No, sir, it's his 2 minutes.
So you did that, and they call you a super predator, and I'm letting people out of jail now that you have treated the African American population community, you have treated the black community about as bad as anybody in this country. You did the 1990, and that's why, if you look at the polls, I'm doing better than any Republican.
This is the problem with running a shit-stained, old-school corporate liberal, by the way. Because he's right.
Yep.
Because you look back
It's
at
not
your
even wrong.
testimony over the years, you called them a lot
no,
worse than that.
Paul,
As far as the
'cause,
church
like,
is concerned,
oh,
and
shit,
as
you're
far as
right.
the generals are concerned, we just got the support of 250 military leaders and generals. Total support. Law enforcement, almost every law enforcement group in the United States. I have
Bootlickers
Florida,
love
I have
me.
Texas, I have Ohio, I have Portland. The sheriff just came out today and he said, I support President Trump. I don't think you have any law enforcement. You can't even say the word law enforcement, because if you say those words, you're going to lose all of your
can't
radical
say it?
left supporters. And why aren't you saying those words, Joe? Why don't you say the words law enforcement? Because you know what? If they called us in Portland, we would put out that fire in a half an hour, but they won't do it because they're run by radical left Democrats. If you look at Chicago, if you look at any place you want to look, Seattle, they heard we were coming in the following day and they put up their hands and we got back Seattle. Minneapolis, we got it back, Joe, because we believe in law and order. But you
Over
don't.
190
The top 10
law
cities
enforcement
and just
officials
about
have
the
endorsed
top
Biden.
40 cities are run by Democrats and in many cases radical left.
Good
And
thing
they've
Joe
got you
has a
wrapped around their
coherent
finger, Joe,
defense
to a
of
point
Black
where you
Lives
don't wanna
Matter
say
and the
anything
recent
about
racial
law and
disputes
order.
that have gone
And I'll
on
tell
these
you what,
cities,
the
right?
people of this
Good thing
country
he's on the right
want
side of
and
this
demand
argument, and he'll
law
make
order,
a
and you're afraid
cogent
to even say it.
response to this.
I want to return.
I
to the
don't want to
question
defund the
of
police.
Oh, he's not even
Vice
going to.
President Biden, after the grand jury in the Breonna Taylor case,
He's not even gonna-
decided not to charge any of the police.
Oh, Paul,
with
you know he's not.
homicide. You said it raises the question.
You look like a
Joe,
deer in the
whether
headlights.
Justice could be equally applied in America. Do you believe that there is a separate but unequal system of justice for blacks in this country?
Yes.
There's systemic injustice
Systemic?
in education and work.
It's systemic.
Law enforcement and the way
It's
in which it's
systemic.
Look, the vast majority of police officers are good, decent, honorable men and women. They risk their lives every day to take care of us. But there are some bad apples, and when they occur,
Bad apples! Woo!
Oh, it's a good boot.
Oh, the bad apples argument. Yum.
Put that rotten apple in that boot in my fucking mouth.
I love the police. Oh, well, you don't love the police. Oh, I love the police too. We both love the
From the
police.
civil rights groups,
Bad
the
apples,
police
though.
officers, the police
Those
chief,
bad
and we're
apples.
gonna
That's
work
all
this
there
out.
is. Just a
We're
couple
gonna
bad
work this
apples.
out So we change the way in which we have more transparency.
Well, if that's
in
the
when these
case, there's
things
just a
happen.
never-ending
These
pile of
cops
bad
aren't happy
apples.
To see what happened to George Floyd. These cops aren't happy to see what happened
Cocks.
to Breonna Taylor.
Cocks.
Most don't like it.
These cocks
But we
hate
have
it.
to have
These
a system
cocks.
where people are held
Trump should have been like,
accountable.
did you just call
And
our
by the
law
way,
enforcement officers
violence in
cocks?
response is never appropriate. Never appropriate. Peaceful protest is. Violence is never appropriate.
All right,
What is peaceful
Bullshit,
protest?
Joe.
When they run through the middle of the town
President Trump-
and burn down your
President Trump,
stores
I-
and kill people all
President
over
Trump,
the place,
that
and you
is
say
not
peaceful
peaceful
protest?
President
No,
Trump,
it's
I'm not
not, but
asking-
you say it is.
I did
President
not
Trump,
say
I'd
it.
like to continue with the
Yes,
issue
go
of
ahead,
race. I
please.
promise we're going to get to the issue of law and order
Please.
in a moment. This month, your administration directed federal agencies to end racial sensitivity training that addresses white privilege or critical race theory. Why did you decide to do that, to end racial sensitivity training? And do you believe that there is systemic racism in this country, sir?
I ended it because it's racist. I ended it because a lot of people were complaining that they were asked to do things that were absolutely insane, that it was a radical revolution that was taking place in our military, in our schools, all over the place, and you know it, and so does everybody
what
else.
Is radical,
and he would know.
What is
Oh, it was
radical
totally
about
racist.
racial sensitivity training, sir?
If you were a certain person, you had no status in life. It was sort of a reversal. And if you look at the people, we were paying people hundreds of thousands
A reversal,
of dollars
huh?
to teach.
A reversal of what?
And frankly,
A reversal of the normal order where white
they were
people are on
teaching
top of
people
everything.
to
Wow,
hate
of course.
And I'm
No,
not gonna do that.
no,
I'm not
Paul.
gonna
We
allow
just want
that
it to be the way it used to be.
We have to
That
get
was
back
like a.
to the core
That wasn't even
values
really a
of this
mask
country.
off so
They
much
were
as just
teaching
like
people
too
that
stupid
our
to
country
realize
is a
that he's supposed to be
horrible
wearing the
place.
mask
It's a
in the first
racist
place.
And they were
Freudian
teaching
slip,
people to
maybe?
hate our country. And I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Vice President Biden?
Nobody's doing that. He's the
Is
racist.
Biden's too fucking
I know
old
a
to
lot
pick
more
up
about
on
it.
it, though.
No, he should have jumped right on that.
Fact is
A reversal of what?
There is racial insensitivity. People have to be made aware of what other people feel like, what insults.
me.
Just
I'm the
such
least racist
bullshit
person you'll ever meet.
milquetoast. He doesn't even know
It's
what this
important that
training
people
is.
know. They don't want
Ask
to.
Joe
Many
Biden
people
what
don't
critical
want to
race
hurt other
theory
people's
is and see if he
feelings,
fucking
but
knows about it.
makes a big
It's
difference.
the race theory that's, critical.
It's very critical.
To our country.
Critical of race.
A sense of self-esteem.
It's the Bart Simpson
It's a
book
little bit
report
like
answer.
how this guy and his friends look down on so many
Treasure
people.
Island is
They
about
look
a
down their
pirate
nose on people
with a
who
He's so
parrot.
slow he
And a
didn't
peg
pick up on the
Elvis
reversal
Presley.
thing. You
Look
know
down on
why?
people who
'Cause
don't
he's-
have
'cause he
money.
believes
They
it
look down on
too.
people
Yeah.
Who are of a different faith. They look down on people who are a different color.
Well, yeah.
In fact, we're
Dude,
all
Joe Biden
Americans.
is
The
not
only way
anywhere
we're
near
gonna bring
aligned
this
with the
country
left's position
together
on
is
this.
bring everybody together. There's nothing we cannot do if we do it together. We can take this.
Oh,
on
let's go
and
to
we can
generic
Oh my God,
platitudes.
this answer makes me
I'll
want to
have
puke.
generic platitudes for 1,000.
Let me tell you about my
Biden's
generic
administration, there was
platitude, everybody.
tremendous division. There
It's
was
so
hatred.
generic.
You look at
It's so
Ferguson,
platitude.
you look at you go to many places. Look at Oakland. Look what happened in Oakland. Look what happened in Baltimore. Look what happened. Frankly, it was more violent than what I'm even seeing now.
Oh, my
but the
Lord.
reason
This
is
is
that
ridiculous.
the Democrats that run these
Absolutely
cities
ridiculous.
don't want to talk like you about law and order.
Violent
and you
crime,
still haven't mentioned.
violent
Are you in
crime.
favor of law and order?
I'm in favor of law. You follow
Are you
it
in
and a little
favor
bit
of law and order? Go
yes,
ahead,
I'm
say
in
it.
favor.
You
Everybody's
asked a
in favor
question,
of
let him finish.
law
Did he
and
say-
order.
This is
I-
law and
Let
order.
him, let him.
I don't know
Law and
what he
order with
said.
Justice where people get treated fairly.
He
And the
said,
fact
I'm
of
in
the matter is
favor of
violent crime is
law.
down
You followed it, and a little
17%,
bit of order.
50% in our administration.
I'm in favor
It's
of
gone
law,
up on
too.
his watch.
Went down
He-
much more
he
in
had-
ours.
All right, we're
He
now.
is
You're,
president of
Mr.
the
I don't
United
understand that
States of
answer.
America.
I don't know what's
Mr.
going on.
President,
Every record of the
Mr. President, you're going to be very happy
You're not the
because we're
only
gonna
one.
talk about law and order.
Places we had trouble
Law
with
and
Democratic-run
order.
cities.
Law
That's
and
exactly my question. There has
order.
been a dramatic increase in homicides in America this summer, particularly, and you often blame that on Democratic mayors and Democratic governors, but in fact, there have been equivalent spikes in Republican-led cities like Tulsa and Fort Worth. So the question is this
in
really
Democratic
a
cities, I
party
believe it's
issue?
up 26%. In Republican cities, I think it's like 23, somewhere around there.
If you look at Chicago, what's going on in Chicago, where 53 people were shot and 8 died shot. If you look at New York, where it's going up like nobody's ever seen anything, the numbers are going up 100, 150, 200%. Crime. It is crazy what's going on. And he doesn't want to say law and order because he can't, because he'll lose his radical left supporters.
Dun, dun.
And once he does that, it's over.
Once he loses them radical left supporters.
And they ran it the way he would want to run it, we would have, our suburbs would be gone.
Yeah,
By the
Paul,
way,
aren't you
our
running right into
suburbs
Joe
would be
Biden's
gone.
arms?
And you would see problems like you've
Have you been convinced tonight, Paul, to vote for Joe Biden for sure, right?
Go ahead, wait a minute.
I was raised in the suburbs. This is not 1950.
Oh, that's
All
not a
these
brag
Beltway
anymore,
relations
bro.
Don't work anymore. Suburbs are by and large integrated. There's many people today driving their kids to soccer practice and/or to black and white and Hispanic in the same car as there have been any time in the past.
There's many people that can't afford to send their kids to soccer. What are you going to do for them? Free soccer. Middle class that barely exists anymore where you grew up.
Soccer for all. Why is he talking about that? Because that was the last time he knew anything about what was going on.
I do want to talk about this issue of law and order, though.
People are going to soccer practice, you know?
They go to soccer practice, the little Mexican kid and the little fucking white kid and the Chinese kid all in the same van. It's beautiful.
I've heard just on the horizon the Nintendo's going to take over every second of our kids.
It's a crazy toy that's coming out. You can play it on a TV.
Yeah.
And do you support the Black Lives Matter call for community control of policing?
Look, what I support is the police having the opportunity to deal with the problems they face.
Make him say yes or no.
The police have the opportunity.
What I support
to
is
stop being a bunch of
nebulous
fascist thugs.
nonsense. I just think that, you know, whatever happens is going to happen and I'll be the leader. The most important thing is that I'm president.
Opportunity to fix it. Not actually to have to, not actually the obligation to fix it, just the opportunity to do so.
And give them a chance.
We have to have community police.
Give the
like we
police
had
a chance.
before,
They've only
where
had
officers get to
generations,
know
guys.
the people in the communities. That's when crime went down. It didn't go up. It went down. And so we have to be engaged.
That's not what they're
in prevent-
talking about,
That's-
Chris. That's
well,
not what
that-
they're
that's
He's talking
exactly-
about
They're talking
defunding
defund the police.
That is not true.
You will not
doesn't
defund
have
the
any
police.
law
Well, you
support.
look,
He has no law enforcement
that's not
support.
true.
Almost
That's
nothing.
not. Look,
He has
All right, who do you
190.
have? Name one group that supports you. Name one
Okay.
group that came out and supported you. Go
Look,
ahead.
because Joe Biden's an
Think.
idiot.
We
I'll
have
actually
time.
see if I
we
can
don't
find
have
some
time to
for
do
him.
No,
anything.
think
So
about
listen,
it.
look,
Name one law enforcement group that came out and
I
supported
think, gentlemen,
you,
I think
Joe.
I'm going to take back the
There
moderator's
aren't. I don't think
role,
there are any.
and I want to get to another subject, which is the issue of protests in many cities that have turned violent. In Portland, Oregon, especially, we had more than 100 straight days of protests, which I think you would agree. You talk about peaceful protests. Many of those turned into riots. Mr. Vice President, you say that people who commit crimes should be held accountable.
So
question
the
I
former
have, though,
Madison,
is, as
Wisconsin
the Democratic
police
nominee,
chief
and earlier tonight you
endorsed
said that
fucking
you are
Biden.
the Democratic
There
Party
you go.
right now.
There's one Trump.
Have you ever called the Democratic mayor of Portland or the Democratic governor of Oregon and said, hey, you got to stop this, bring in the National Guard, do whatever it takes, but you stop the days and months of violence in Portland?
I don't hold public office now. I am a former vice president. I've made it clear. I've made it clear in my public statements that the violence should be prosecuted. It should be prosecuted, and anyone who commits it
But
should
you've
be
never
prosecuted.
called for the people,
He's never
the
said
leader. Excuse me, sir. You had never called for the leaders in Portland and in Oregon to call
Because
bring in
they-
the National Guard and knock
Well,
off 100 days of riots.
They can, in fact, take care of it if he just stay out of the way. Look here.
Oh, really?
Here,
Oh, really?
here's the
But
thing.
I sent in the
wait,
US
Oh,
Marshals
really?
to get the killer of a young man in the middle of the street, and they shot him. For 3
Mr.
days.
President
I saw the
Trump,
sophomore
President
responses
Trump,
from Trump.
I had to
He's
send in the
interrupting.
U.S. Marshals.
President
They
Trump,
took care of business.
Go ahead.
Really, huh?
By
Really?
the way, you know, his own former spokesperson said, you know, riots and chaos and violence help his cause. That's what this is all about.
I don't know who said that.
I do.
Who?
I think Kellyanne Conway.
I don't think she said that.
She said that.
I don't-
And so here's the
All right.
But here's the point. The point is that
Kellyanne
that's
Conway
what he
still
is,
works
keep
for him,
trying
doesn't
to
she?
rile everything up.
No.
She's
He
leaving
doesn't
because of
wanna
the
calm
scandal with her
things down.
daughter.
Instead of going in
I didn't
and
know that.
talking to
I'm
people
not
and saying,
following the
let's get
rags.
everybody together, figure out how to deal with this. What's he do? He just pours gasoline in the fire constantly, and every single solitary
Okay,
time.
and to end this, button up this segment, I'm going to give you a minute to answer, sir. You have repeatedly
Well, wait,
criticized.
I have to answer his
No,
statement.
you have
His statement.
repeatedly.
Wait,
you have
just one
No,
second.
you've been talking
He
back
made
and
a
forth.
statement.
I'm asking you.
I would love
you
to
know,
end it.
sir.
I would love to end it. and
You
we
know, if
would
you want to
very-
switch seats,
we would very quickly.
We could do that, but
I'd
I'm
send
no.
in the National Guard. It would be over. There'd be no problem.
Okay,
But they
good.
don't want to accept the National Guard.
You have repeatedly criticized the vice president for not specifically calling out Antifa and other left-wing
That's right.
extremist groups. But are you willing tonight to condemn white supremacists and militia groups and to say that they
they're terrible.
need to stand down
They're
and
awful.
not add to the violence in a number of these cities, as we saw in Kenosha and as we've seen in Portland?
How's
Are
he?
you
I'm willing
prepared
to
to
do that,
specifically
but
do it?
Well,
I
go
would
ahead,
say
sir.
I would say almost everything I see is from the left wing, not from the right
So
wing.
what are you
If
what are
look-
you saying?
I'm willing to
Pivot
do
again.
anything. I
So
want to
no.
see-
Basically,
Do
the
it,
answer is
sir.
no.
Do
He's
it.
not.
Do it. Say
He's
it.
not willing to do it.
Do you want to call him? What do you want to call him? Give me a name. Give me a
White
name. Go ahead.
supremacists and
Who would
right
you like me to condemn?
white supremacists and right wing
Proud
militia.
Boys, stand back and stand by. But I'll tell you what. Somebody's got to
Stand
do something
by?
about Antifa and the left, because this is not a right wing.
I didn't do
This is
it.
a left wing.
He won't do it. He won't fucking do it. He won't do it.
Antifa's an idea, not an organization.
Proud Boys, stand
That's
back
it.
and
It's an
stand
FBI.
by.
Wow.
Stand back and stand by.
No, we're done, sir. We're moving on to the next. We're
Everybody
moving.
gives
When a bat
advice
hits
in
you
your
over the head, that's
administration.
not an idea.
Everybody in
Antifa
your
is bad.
administration tells you
Yikes.
the truth has a bad idea.
Can I tell you what?
You have no ideas that are
Antifa is a dangerous
All right,
radical
gentlemen,
group.
we're now moving on to the Trump.
Yeah,
What
so
about
Trump
your
won't do it.
records?
In other
They'll
words,
overthrow
okay.
you.
Thank
When
you.
the
So Trump will
president-
condemn it.
I'm going to ask a question. When the president seeks a second term, it is generally a referendum on his record. But Vice President Biden, you like to quote one of your dad's sayings, which is, "Don't compare me to the Almighty, compare me to the alternative." And in this case, sir, you are the alternative.
That's basically.
Looking at both of your records,
That's your
I'm going
entire.
to ask
You might as
each
well
of
make
you,
that your campaign
why
slogan.
should voters elect you president over your opponent? In this segment, President Trump, you go first. 2 minutes.
Because there has never been an administration or president who has done more than I've done in a period of 3.5 years. And that's despite the impeachment hoax. And you saw what happened today with Hillary Clinton, where it was a whole big con job. But despite going through all of these things, where I had to fight both flanks and behind me and above, there has never been an administration that's done what I've done. The greatest, before COVID came in, the greatest economy in history, lowest unemployment numbers. Everything was good. Everything was going. And by the way, there was unity going to happen. People were calling me for the
Oh,
first time in years.
there was
They were
unity
calling,
going
and they
to
were saying,
happen,
"It's
dude.
time,
I love
maybe."
it.
And then what happened? We got
Yeah,
hit,
that's
but
why
now
they had a
we're
bunch of
building it back up again.
SJWs screaming
A
at the
rebuilding
sky
of the
because of
military,
unity.
including Space Force and all of
course.
the other things. A fixing of the VA, which was a mess under him. 308,000 people died because they didn't have proper health care. It was a mess. And we now got a 91% approval rating at the VA, our vets. We take care of our vets. But we've rebuilt our military. The job that we've done, and I'll tell you something, some people say maybe the most important. By the end of the first term, I'll have approximately 300 federal judges and Court of Appeals judges, 300, and hopefully 3 great Supreme Court justices. That is a record, the likes of which very few people, and you know one of the reasons I'll have so many judges? Because President Obama and him left me 128 judges to fill. When you leave office, you don't leave any judges. That's like you just don't do that. They left 128 openings.
Well, that's
And
because
I'm a member of
that's because they
his
couldn't.
party.
There was no way to
Yeah,
really
the
push
Senate-
the judges through Mitch
I'd
McConnell.
say if you
Mitch
left
McConnell completely blocked all judges.
128
They weren't.
openings, you
They didn't
can't
even
be a
fight
good
though for it.
president. You
dude.
can't be a good vice president. But I want to thank you because it gives us almost.
Oh, McConnell
probably
dictated-
There wasn't really much of a
by
fight
the end
to
of
be
this
had
year,
there. Just like there's not much of a fight to be had on this new judge
They could
appointment.
have
Looking at
walked up
both your
and
records,
dude. People used to punch
why
each other on the
voters
floor of the
elect you
Senate. They could have
president
walked up and
as
punched
opposed to
McConnell in the
President
face
Trump?
and then
You have
said,
2 minutes
"Anybody
uninterrupted.
opposed to a rule
Under this
change?"
president, we become weaker.
Well, I grant you
It's
that.
happened
yes.
before.
and more violent.
Oh, people of them they've really been
When
beaten to
I
death
was
on the floor of the house.
I
and stuff.
know.
Yeah.
We inherited a
Well,
Let's
that's
bring
that was
that
old
back.
school America. We're like,
Yeah.
McConnell would have got bitch slapped. You're right. I guarantee you, he would have.
And he caused the recession.
Can you imagine the look on that turtle's fucking face if somebody walked up to him and was like, with all due respect, Mr. fucking majority leader, and bitch slapped him?
Yeah. On second thought, sir.
Putin about the bounty on the heads of American
Oh,
soldiers.
shit.
No.
And by the way,
Mr.
my
President,
son.
wait a minute. Mr. President, your campaign agreed to both sides would get 2-minute answers uninterrupted. Well, your side agreed to it, and why don't you observe what your campaign agreed to as a ground rule, okay, sir?
He never keeps his word. Can you add
No,
back
no,
He never keeps his word.
It's a rhetorical question.
Can you
Go
add
ahead,
back
sir.
30 seconds?
Yeah,
Because-
yes,
okay.
you may have.
All right.
Go ahead.
So, thirdly, we're poor.
Wow, Trump is really getting
Billionaires have got
Trump is
much
getting
more-
destroyed by the
much
maybe
more
Chris
wealthy
Wallace should be
by a
president.
tune of over 3 to
Yeah,
400
Chris Wallace would
billion
probably be
more.
better at being president than either of these fucking
You
buffoons.
I don't know.
Which is sad because Chris Wallace is a total fucking
I know,
knucklehead.
but he seems like a
Turns out being
goddamn
more
genius
violent.
tonight for some
When we were in
reason.
office, there were 15% less violence in America than there is today.
Thank goodness Bernie's not up here.
That would be terrible.
And with regard
Can you imagine
to
if like
buffoon
there was
Bernie,
actually
the
substantive
nation
responses to
can't
the
stay
shit Trump was saying? That would suck.
Guys,
Speaking of
can
my
you
son,
imagine
the way
someone
you
that can
talk
actually
about the
coherently
military,
hold a
the way you
position?
talk
That
about
just
them
sounds
being
too crazy.
losers and being and
Man, that is the biggest regret of my
son
fucking life, at
was
least
in
politically,
Iraq,
is that I'll never get
spent
to
a
see
year
the
there.
Trump versus Bernie
He
debate,
got-
dude.
He got the Bronze Star. He got the Conspicuous Service.
Maybe
Medal.
if Trump
He
loses,
was
he'll
not
agree to like a
loser. He
debate for
was a
charity with
patriot,
Bernie or
and
some
the
shit.
people left behind there were heroes. And I resent
Dude,
like hell.
how long do you think
I'm
Joe
talking about
worked
son
this
Bo
righteous
Biden.
indignation
You're
he's
talking about-
popping off with right about his son in the military?
I don't know. I haven't been listening. Sorry.
Dishonorably discharged.
That's not true. He
for
wasn't dishonorably
cocaine use, and he didn't have a job until you became vice president. And once you
None of
became
that
vice
is
president,
true.
he made a fortune in Ukraine, in China, in Moscow,
That is simply
and various
not
other places.
true.
He
My
made a
son-
fortune.
My son,
and he didn't have a job.
my son, like a lot of people we know at home, had a drug problem. He's overtaken it. He's fixed it. He's worked.
He's
on it.
overtaken
And I'm
it?
proud of him.
He's overtaking it down.
He's surpassed his drug problem.
He had a small.
These two bumbling, fucking stumbling, fucking mumbling fucks accidentally have basically ended the world in their statements tonight.
I'm starting to hear that crackling again.
You hearing the crackling, PJ?
Yeah, I'm hearing that crackling again.
All right, guys, let me fix it. Give me a sec.
Thank you, Paul.
Sorry.
It's not Paul's fault. Just
I
this
wish it
fucking
wasn't
screen.
happening, but it is.
I mean, it happens. Whatever. We
Yeah,
won't
whatever.
miss much. It's
Yeah.
live again here. It should be fixed.
Yeah, let's
Let me hit play again and get us
Credit.
back live.
Mitt Romney on that committee said it wasn't worth taxpayers' money. That report, it was written for political
fixed.
reasons.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about climate change.
So would I.
Okay. The forest fires in the West are
Wait,
raging
what?
now.
I
They
heard there
have
was
burned
going to be a climate
millions
change
of
question
acres.
tonight.
They have displaced
I guess
hundreds
you're wrong.
of thousands of people. When state officials there blame the fires on climate change, Mr. President, you said, I don't think the science knows. Over your 4 years, you have pulled the U.S. out of the
doesn't
Paris
know.
Climate Accord. You have rolled back a number of Obama environmental records. What do you believe about the science?
Wonder
of
who that all
climate change,
benefits.
And what will you do in the next 4 years to confront it?
I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally. But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our businesses aren't put
Oh yeah, the numbers are great on that. The Earth is doing just peachy keen, dude.
Guys, the air has never been cleaner. The water never more crystal clear.
Because our businesses are doing well. As far as the fires are concerned, you need forest management in addition to everything else. The forest floors are loaded up with trees, dead trees that are years old, and they're like tinder. And
Guys, it's almost
leaves
like
and
there's
everything else.
forests that
You drop a
exist in
cigarette in there,
nature.
The whole forest burns down.
And they get
You've
dry
gotta have
because there's no
forest
rain.
management.
What do you
You've gotta have
believe?
cuts.
What do you believe about the science of climate change, sir?
I believe that we have to do everything we can to have immaculate air, immaculate water, and do whatever else we can.
Wow.
That's good. You know, we're planting
Wow.
a billion
Amazing.
trees, the
That's
billion tree
astounding.
project.
Astonishing.
The sad thing is,
that
Biden's not going to be able to fucking call him to task on that.
I
He's
know.
too dumb. and
He's
slow.
too fucking dumb and
A
old.
lot of things do, but I think to an extent.
And too
yes.
beholden
I think
to the
an
very
extent,
same
yes, but I
interests,
also
not to
think
mention
we have
that.
to
Yeah, how many
do better
billionaires have endorsed
management of
Biden?
our forests.
If he does have an idea of something to
I get the
say,
call.
fucking
California's
the
burning.
moderator will shut him down and
California's
move on,
If
give
that
Trump
was
more time.
cleaned, if you had forest management, good forest management, you wouldn't be getting those calls. You know, in Europe, they live their forest cities. They're called forest cities. They maintain their forests. They manage
So
their forests.
as of June 30th,
I was with
Biden
the
had
head of a
106 billionaire
major
donors,
country.
and Trump only has
It's a forest
93.
city. He
But
said,
it sounds like
"Sir,
Biden
we
has
have
more now. He
trees
has
that are far
131,
more-
and
they-
Trump
they
has
ignite
99.
Much easier.
So they're in a foot
than
race for
California.
billionaire
There
donors.
shouldn't be that problem. I spoke with the governor about it. I'm getting along very well with the governor. But I said, you know, at some point, you can't every year have hundreds of thousands of acres of land just burned to the ground.
But, sir,
That's burning down because of a lack of
But,
management.
sir, if you believe in the science of climate change, why have you rolled back the Obama Clean Power Plan, which limited carbon emissions in power plants? Why have you relaxed?
Because it was driving energy prices through the sky.
Why have you relaxed fuel economy standards that are going to create more pollution from cars
Well,
and
not
trucks?
really, because what's happening is the car is much less expensive and it's a much safer car, and you're talking about a tiny difference. And then what would happen, because of the cost of the car, you would have at least double and triple the
Even if
number
it's
of
only a
cars
tiny
purchased. We have
difference,
the old
times that by
slugs out
millions
there
of
that are 10,
vehicles.
12 years old. If you did that, the car would be safer.
You know what would be better
It would be much
is if there was
cheaper
like-
by
But who cares if the car's safer? We're talking about the environment, not the safety of the fucking car.
It doesn't matter. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit. I wish he would just give the
Destroy the
honest answer of like, I
environment?
don't give
Just a
a
little bit
shit
more.
about the
He
environment.
just said
But a
basically
lot
the
of people
cars,
agree with
like
me, many
the
people.
emissions are
The car
actually
has
just
gotten
slightly
so
worse, but it's okay because it's
expensive
only
they have
slightly worse,
computers all
guys,
over the
right?
place for an extra little bit of gasoline. And,
That's not-
and I'm okay with electric cars too. I think I'm all for electric cars. I've given big incentives for
Thank God
electric
he's
cars.
okay with them,
But
guys.
What they've done in
Relax.
California is
Everything's
just
fine.
crazy.
Vice President Biden, I'd like you to respond to the president's climate change record, but I also want to ask you about a concern. You proposed $2 trillion in green jobs. You talk about new limits, not abolishing, but new limits on fracking, ending the use of fossil fuels to generate electricity by 2035, and zero net emission of greenhouse gases by 2050. The president says a lot of these things would tank the economy and cost millions of jobs.
He's absolutely wrong. Number one. Number two, if in fact, when during our administration, the Recovery Act, I was in charge, able to bring down the cost of renewable energy to cheaper than or as cheap as coal and gas and oil. Nobody's going to build another coal-fired plant in America. No one's going to build another oil-fired plant in America. They're going to move to renewable energy, number one. Number two, we're going to make sure that we are able to take the federal fleet and turn it into a fleet that's run on their electric vehicles. Making sure that we can do that, we're going to put 500,000 charging stations and all of the highways.
I keep picturing Trump as a wise old orangutan sitting in the tree.
The ability us to take
regarding
buildings and make sure that they in fact are
Look at him.
weatherized in a way.
Wise old ape in the tree.
They'll emit significantly less gas and oil because the heat will not be going out. There's so many things that we can do now to create thousands and thousands of jobs. We can get to net zero in terms of energy production by 2035. Not only not costing people jobs, creating millions of good paying jobs, not $15 an hour, but prevailing wage, by having a new infrastructure that in fact is green. Look at him. And the first thing I will do, I will rejoin the Paris Accord. I will join the Paris Accord because with us out of it,
The Paris Accord is a quarter measure at best. It's a piece of shit. It's like not enough. You need to talk about how far beyond the Paris Accord you're going to go.
The rainforests of Brazil are being
we're gonna
torn
be fine,
down,
Paul.
are being ripped down.
We're going to go back to the other
More
agreement that was in
carbon is
effect.
absorbed in that rainforest than every bit of carbon that's emitted in the United States. Instead of doing something about that, I would be gathering up and making sure we had the countries of the world.
I mean, when you think
$20
about most of
billion,
Biden's
$20 billion
positions, he really really just shows what a conservative he is. He's basically like, let's just go back to like when Obama was president, I was vice president.
Yep. That's pretty much exactly the sales pitch.
What about the argument?
But guys, a public option. Oh wait, Obama had that too. He just got rid of it. Oh shit, we're just going back to fucking 8 years ago.
And he's drawn
what a
his
fucking
line.
joke of a fucking goddamn candidate Joe
He
Biden
still,
is.
for example, make sure that he wants to make sure that methane's not a problem. We can you can now emit.
Yeah, Joe. Like you're gonna take it seriously with 133 billionaires that
you don't have to have
you're gonna tackle
standards for
this shit.
automobiles that exist now. This is the guy who says that. Well, the fact that it's all true. And here's
He's
the deal.
talking about the Green New Deal, and it's not $2 billion or $20 billion, as you said. It's $100 trillion.
I'm talking about
where they want to rip down buildings and rebuild the building.
No,
it's the dumbest.
I'm talking about the Biden plan, not the Green New Deal that everybody supports.
Where they want to take out the cows too, that's not true either, right? This is a $100 trillion. That's more money than our country could make in 100 years if we're going by
the case.
All right, let me
destroy our
because I
country.
actually wait a minute, sir. I actually have studied your plan, and it includes upgrading 4 million buildings, weatherizing 2 million homes over 4 years, building 1.5 million energy-efficient homes. So the question becomes, the president.
Wow, thanks, Chris Wallace, for making Biden's plan sound more appealing than he did.
Like it's
Fucking
cost
idiot.
a lot of money and hurt the economy.
Oh God!
Create thousands and millions of jobs.
Thousands and millions and billions of jobs, and every job is going to be personally. I'll be the boss of everybody.
They create a billion jobs. Like
I'm going to create infinity. How many jobs do we need? That's going to create that many.
Economy much safer. Look how much we're paying now to deal with the hurricanes. By the way, he has an answer for hurricanes. He said maybe we should drop a nuclear weapon on them. They may.
I never said that. At all.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did, Trump. You actually did do that.
We're going to be in a position where we can create hard good
totally did
jobs
that,
by
Trump.
making
Hard
sure
good
the
jobs.
environment is clean.
I don't want a hard
and
good job.
I don't want the job to be
We
hard.
spend billions of dollars now. Billions of dollars.
Gee,
on
we're going to
floods,
create a job of
hurricanes,
non-stop
rising
drudgery,
seas.
pain,
We're in
and
real
suffering.
trouble.
It'll be
Look what's
good.
happening just in the Midwest with these storms that come through and wipe out entire sections and counties in Iowa. They didn't happen before. They're because of global warming. We make up 15% of the world's problem. We, in fact, but the rest of the world, we've got to get them to come along. That's why we have to get back into the Paris Accord.
All right, gentlemen.
Wait a minute, Chris. So why didn't he do it for 47 years? You were vice president. Why didn't you get the world? China sends up real dirt into the air. Russia does. India does. They all do. We're supposed to be good. And by the way, he made a couple of statements. The Green New Deal is $100 trillion.
That is
not
not
$20
my
billion.
plan.
That's
the Green
New you want to
Deal
rebuild every
is
building.
not my plan.
I want to rebuild every.
If he knew anything about, if he knew
Way to piss in the faces of all the progressives that came from Bernie.
He and his
That's not my
friends
plan.
made it
I
up,
swear,
and then they
guys.
went with it. I never
I'm
said
a neo-lib centrist.
Please,
You're done in this segment.
He called the
Mr.
military
Vice President.
stupid bastards.
I
And he
did
said
not
it on
say
tape. He
Mr.
said
Mr.
stupid
Please,
bastards.
stop.
He called the military stupid bastards. He called them stupid bastards.
Give me a
Final
fucking
question
break,
is,
Trump.
I can't remember which of all his rantings.
I'm having a little trouble myself, but and about the economy and about this question of what it's going to cost.
The economy.
I mean, the Green New Deal and the idea of what your
the
environmental
Green New
changes
Deal-
will do.
The Green New Deal will pay for itself as we move forward. We're not going to build plants that.
You
in
just said
fact,
the Green
are
New Deal is
great
not your
polluting plants.
Could you
We're gonna
support
build
the
policy.
Green New Deal?
Pardon me?
You support that?
No, I don't support the Green
Oh,
New Deal.
you don't? Oh, well, that's a
You
big
let-
statement.
I
That
support
means you
the
just
bloc.
lost the radical left.
Oh,
I
Trump's
support
so
the
catty. He's like,
Biden
oh, do you support?
plan that I
Do you?
put
Don't
forward.
you?
Okay.
The Biden plan, which is different than what he
Oh,
calls
you're
the
so
radical
fucking-
Green New Deal.
All right,
What a
gentlemen.
fucking
Final
confused,
segment.
fucking baffled
Election
buffoon.
integrity.
Oh
As we
my
meet
God.
tonight, millions of Americans.
Are you ready for your
are
harm
receiving
reduction, TJ?
Mail-in ballots or going to vote early. How confident should we be that this will be a fair election, and what are you prepared to do?
Oh boy, this is
over
going
the
to be
next 5
contentious.
plus
shit.
weeks? Because it'll not
Oh,
only be
shit.
to election
Hold
day,
on,
but
let me
also
summon the
counting
demons.
some ballots, mail-in ballots.
Summon the demons.
What are you prepared to do to
The lament
American
configuration,
the next
yes.
president will
The
be
lament
legitimate
configuration.
winner of this election.
I
In this
fall
final
straight
segment,
Paul for this.
Mr. Vice President, you go first.
Prepared to let people vote. They should
Don't
go
do
to
it, Paul.
iwillvote.com.
Okay, I won't do
Decide
it.
how they're going to vote, means by which they're going to vote. His own Homeland Security Director, and as well as the FBI Director, says there is no evidence at all that mail-in ballots are a source of being manipulated and cheating. They said that. The fact is that there are going to be millions of people because of COVID that are going to be voting by mail-in ballots, like he does, by the way. He sits behind the Resolute desk and sends his ballot to Florida, number one. Number two, we're going to make sure that those people who want to vote in person are able to vote because enough poll watchers are there to make sure they can socially distance. The polls are open on time, and the polls stay open until the votes are counted. And this is all about trying to dissuade people from voting because he's trying to scare people into thinking that it's not going to be legitimate. Show up and vote. You will determine the outcome of this election. Vote, vote, vote. If you're able to vote early in your state, vote early. If you're able to vote in person, vote in person. Vote whatever way is the best way for you, because he cannot stop you from being able to determine the outcome of this election. And in terms of whether or not, when the votes are counted, and they're all counted, that will be accepted. If I win, that will be accepted. If I lose, that'll be accepted. But by the way, if in fact he says he's not sure what he's going to accept, well, let me tell you something. It doesn't matter, because if we get the votes, it's going to be all over. He's going to go. He can't stay in power. It won't happen. It won't happen. So vote. Just make sure you understand you have it in your control to determine what this country's
Not
going
after
to
this.
the next
Not
4
after
years.
this
Is it
knockout
going to
performance
change? You're gonna
tonight. It
have
can't
4 more
happen.
years of these lives.
It simply will not.
President, 2 minutes.
So
It's
I can't wait to
listen
watch
to
it.
Joe
Oh,
talking about
guys.
a transition. There's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it too. So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballots are concerned, it's a disaster. A solicited ballot, okay, solicited is okay. You're soliciting, you're asking, they send it back, you send it back. I did that. If you have an unsolicited, they're sending millions of ballots all over the country. There's fraud. They found them in creeks. They found some with the name Trump, just happened to have the name Trump just the other day in a waste paper basket. They're being sent all over the place. They sent 2 in a Democrat area. They sent out 1,000 ballots. Everybody got 2 ballots. This is going to be a fraud like you've never seen.
No pushback from fucking Biden on this.
It's nice on November 3rd. You're watching and you see who.
If ever there was an opportunity for you to have something to say, it's now.
Really happy with the job we've done, but you know what?
Just sit there and chuckle with your head bowed, you dumb fucking simp.
Are gonna be all over.
What a chuckle fuck, dude.
Take a look at what
Sit there with a
happened in
stunned
New
look
Jersey.
on your
Take a look
face
at
like
what
you just watched a
happened in
puppy
Virginia
get
and
hit by a
other places.
car,
They're
you
not
dumb
losing 2%,
corporate
1%,
fucking
which, by
stuffed
the way, is
suit.
too much. An election could be won or lost with that. They're losing 30 and
Don't
40%.
butt in, Biden.
It's a fraud. And it's
I'm not
a
sure if
shame.
Biden's an empty
And
suit
can
or
you
a stuffed
imagine where
suit.
they say,
I don't know.
you have to have your ballot in by November 10th. November 10th. That means that's 7 days after the election, in theory, should have been announced.
Okay.
We have major states with that,
sir,
all run by
2
Democrats.
minutes is 2 minutes.
All run by Democrats. It's
President
a fraud.
Trump.
It's a rigged election.
It's pretty conspicuous that Trump did not say he would accept the results of the election.
Disaster. You say it's rigged. That it's going
Would not say that he would support a peaceful transition of power.
In the last midterm election, 31 million people voted mail-in voting. That was a quarter, more than a quarter of all the voters that year cast their ballots by mail. Now that millions of mail-in ballots have gone out, what are you going to do about it? And are you counting on the Supreme Court, including a Justice Barrett, to settle any dispute?
Yeah, I think I'm counting on them to look at the ballots, definitely. I hope we don't need them in terms of the election itself. But for the ballots, I think so. Because what's happening is incredible. I read today, where at least 1% of the ballots for 2016 were invalidated. They take them. We don't like them. We don't like them.
But
They
what are you
throw
going to
them
do
out
about it?
left
There
and
are
right.
millions of ballots going out
What
right
you
now.
do
What
is
are
you
gonna
go
do?
and vote. You do a solicited ballot,
No,
and
no,
that's
I
okay,
know
or
your
you go and
complaint.
vote.
I'm asking you about the fact that millions of people
You go
have
and
received-
vote. You go and
No,
vote
but
like
what I'm
they
saying is, what
like
are you
they
gonna do
used
about the
to in
fact
the
that
old.
millions of people.
You either do, Chris, a solicited ballot where you're sending it in, they're sending it back, and you're sending. They have mailmen with
Go
lots
vote.
of it. Did you see what's going on? Take a look at West Virginia. Mailmen selling the ballots. They're
Paul
being
always
sold.
talking
They're being
shit
dumped
and
in
does
rivers.
nothing for his
This
community.
is a horrible thing for our country.
There is no.
This is not.
There is no.
This is
This
not
fucking
going to
dildo
end
sitting
well.
on our
There is
chat.
no This is
evidence of that.
not going
Vice
to
President
end well.
Biden.
I mean, I do
States
nothing
had
for this
mail-in
community. I'm
ballots for the
part of the
last
show that
decade
makes
or
up this
more.
community. You
including
dumb
two
fuck.
Republican states.
I don't think is he
And
talking.
you
I think he's talking about your local community, or like whatever the fuck. Like
Oh,
you're not working at a
you
soup
wouldn't do
kitchen or
anything
something.
for my local community either. So fuck you double if that's what you meant.
If it doesn't get in till the 7th,
Yeah, I think that's what they were
night,
referring
it still
to.
should
Fuck
be
them anyway,
counted.
Paul.
He's just
Who cares?
afraid of counting the votes.
I don't know. I got bored.
No, I want to continue. to
Why?
Started
Vice
reading the chat.
President Biden, because
Chris, he's so wrong when he makes
in
a
fact,
statement
no,
like that.
excuse me.
Excuse
Vice
me.
President Biden, the biggest problem, in fact, over the years with mail-in voting has not been fraud historically. It has been that sizable numbers, sometimes hundreds of thousands of ballots are thrown out because they have not been properly filled out, or there is some other irregularity, or they missed the deadline. So the question I have is, are you
Fraud.
concerned that the Supreme Court with a Justice Barrett will settle any dispute?
I'm concerned that any court would settle this because here's the deal. When you get a ballot and you fill it out, you're supposed to have an affidavit. If you didn't know, you have someone say that this is me. You should be able to, if in fact you can verify that's you before the ballot is thrown out, that's sufficient to be able to count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you, that is totally legitimate.
All right.
Excuse me, Chris, when you
I
have
a final-
80 million ballots
Gentlemen, I have a final
sending
question.
and swamping the system, you know it can't be done. You know it can't, and already
All
there's
right,
been
so now
fraud.
Mail
deception.
service delivers
Wait a minute, gentlemen, and the
185
final
million
question
pieces of
is,
mail a day.
It's all rigged.
In 8 states,
It's all
we
rigged.
can keep talking.
It's
In
a-
8
it's a
states,
disgrace.
election workers are prohibited, currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to process ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and
Yes.
flatten them until Election Day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks.
Could be months.
Until we find out who the new president is. So first for you, sir.
Whee!
Finally, for the
That should be a fun
I hope
few
neither
months.
of you will interrupt the other.
Yeah, whatever.
Urge your supporters to stay calm during this extended period.
Oh, yeah,
not
that's
to
gonna
engage in
fucking
any
happen.
civil unrest.
Everybody's gonna be
And will
calm.
you
Come
pledge
on,
tonight
guys.
That you will not
don't know
It's
who's
going to
the
be
winner.
super calm time.
until
It's like
the
time of
Guys, remember-
infinite calm.
Certified.
That's what they're going to call it.
President Trump?
Yeah, when there's a
urging
power
my
vacuum,
supporters
guys,
to
that's
go
always a
into the
time of
polls
calm.
and
Everyone
watch
remembers that.
very
Everyone knows
carefully,
history.
because
gonna
that's
be
what
calm.
has to happen. I am urging them to do it. As you know, today there was a big problem. In Philadelphia, they went in to watch. They're called poll watchers, a very safe, very nice thing. They were thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia, bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If
Paul
it's a
Walker
fair
sounds like it'd be a really
election,
interesting
I
or
am
a really boring
100% on
job.
board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't go along with that. And I'll tell
what-
you
what
what,
does that
from
mean,
a
not go
common
along?
sense,
Does that mean
I'll
you're gonna
tell you
tell
what
your
it means.
people to take to the
It means you
street?
have a fraudulent election. You're
And what
sending
are you
out
gonna do?
80
And
million
what would you
ballots.
do about that?
They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had
the name
Trump on them.
just a big bag, military ballots stenciled across it, just rotting in a fucking waste paper bin in a ravine covered in rat piss.
Until the election is independently certified.
Of course.
Yes, and here's the deal.
My uncle forwarded me an email that told me about the ballots in the bottom of the ravine.
Can't even be opened until election day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since at the end of the Civil War, in effect. And
By
that's,
ballots,
that's
you
what's
mean mail-in
gonna happen.
ballots?
Why was it not?
No, just
why
ballots.
Was it for them somehow
I've been voting by ballots too.
We all have.
It's honest. No
Yeah,
one has
wow.
established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots. That somehow it's a
I mean, people have been voting by ballot
Take a look at Carolyn
since the
Monroe.
first ballot was cast.
Look at Carolyn Monroe.
It's bullshit.
They have no idea what
There's not a bunch
happened.
of there's not a bunch of fraud of
No idea
mail-in
what he's
ballots.
talking
Give me a
about.
fucking
Here's the deal.
break.
The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once the winner is declared, after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome, and I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And this guy,
I know Paul already said this, but I'm sure glad Bernie Sanders isn't here. That would this would be a total shit show if Bernie were here. But
as
you know.
in more debates as we
Mr.
go
President,
on.
my view, you are
President Trump,
suddenly full of
Vice
shit.
President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed to engage in. We want to thank
mercifully
Case
short
Western
at
Reserve
least.
University
Thank you for
and the
that.
Cleveland Clinic for hosting this.
Well, these guys are winded right now.
Yeah, we're old men. Come on.
Well, I mean, I think I was kind of like all of my weird predictions for this. I think we're all kind of right. It was boring at times, very boring.
Oh yeah.
It was insane at some points.
My prediction of it being a shit show was also right.
Yeah, it was a shit show.
Not that that was a hard prediction.
I don't know. It was
Golf
like
clap.
I was talking to my mom, and I called it 2 old men who live next door to each other but have a long-standing feud arguing while sitting on their porches respectively. That's kind of what
that would have been more interesting, I feel like, though.
Maybe, but this felt very distinctly like that.
Yeah, it felt like maybe a more refined version of that, but only slightly more refined. This golf clap seems very appropriate.
Hooray! Hooray! The debates.
Yay! That debate was fantastic. Greatest president of all time.
Love you, Trump.
Did you hear the Trumpites out there?
Yeah, President Trump, greatest president of all time. President of all time. All time.
Holy shit, boys.
Well, I mean, I will say this: mercifully short on us. Only 90 minutes. It basically went along. I thought. I mean, Trump takes over these debates, and I mean, Chris Wallace called him out quite a few times on it, but it didn't really matter. Trump just took over the debate.
I wonder what what is Biden gonna do? Biden needs to fucking be more willing to interrupt, for sure, because he's not always gonna have a Chris Wallace there to like intercede on his behalf and fucking clear some space for him to make a point. Because Trump does not shut up. You can't shut him up.
Oh,
no,
a lot of it.
He really doesn't. No. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying, like, well, that's a perfect example right there. Like, it's like it felt like it was us, like, trying to fucking talk or do a bit or whatever. Like, Trump and fucking Biden were just all over each other. There's points my brain was just melting. I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck these guys are saying right now.
Yeah, it was a total ape fiesta. I don't know how else to say it. It was crazy at points. There was like Trump refused to follow the rules, but there's really nothing they could do.
Yeah.
Like ultimately, and Biden, when that happened, refused to fucking he refused to like play by those rules. Like he refused to like take more time. He saw Trump run roughshod over him a bunch of times. Look, as a leftist, as a dude that's on the left, I was really kind of trying to hear what Biden had to bring to this. And
Nothing.
I got to be honest with you, he brought nothing.
Nothing.
Less than nothing.
Less than nothing on some issues. He actually dropped the ball on some issues so hard that I think Trump is right. I think he did hurt himself with some of the people that had come over from the more radical left.
Yeah.
Saying I'm not for the Green New Deal, and then inexplicably saying how the Green New Deal won't cost that much, and then after being asked if he's for it, saying no.
Right. I think he just misspoke as usual.
He just I'm sorry. He had a senior moment, which, by the way, is no problem.
Not a problem at all.
No problem at all. It's never a problem when you've got the leader of the potential leader of the free world has moments where his brain shuts down and he says he supports things he doesn't support. That I can't see that being a problem on the national or world stage. But here's something that I didn't know coming into this that I now know about these debates. You can take what you know, let this be that representative. This is what you know about who won and who lost a debate. Okay? And you can just wad that up and get rid of it, because let me tell you something. There is no winner in this debate. Trump didn't win. Neither did Biden. This was something else. This is something new. We just watched the birth of something new, and I'm not even sure what to call it yet, but it's not a debate. This was actually kind of like stunning how bad it was.
This
On
was
both sides.
I
You
just
had
I just
Trump,
reached
so let me
the Mental Olympics part 2. This is what I'm telling you, dude. It just goes round and round. It's like who's more stable, who's more fucked up. I will say this: Trump was more on even keel. He stayed on message more. Biden just kept getting derailed. It's like the Biden program just keeps rebooting. It's like you have that bad old school like spinning hard drive. You're trying to boot that Windows up. Like, oh come on, Windows XP, please boot up. Boop, 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 boop. Like Biden just couldn't get it done. He couldn't fucking connect the threads. Every time it would just go ahead.
He sat there looking confused for most of the time and trying to do this statesmanly smirk that he thinks is like cute. That was probably got him a lot of girls back when he was in his fucking 30s and shit. But like now, it looks like some horrifying thing out of a Hammer film, like that comes up out of a coffin. You know what I mean? It's terrifying, and he just did it the whole time. He's just like, I can't even do it, because I guess maybe ask me in fucking 50 or 60 years and I'll see if I can do it. It is astounding to me how weak he was tonight. And I had no expectations for Joe Biden going in, but I got to tell you, he far exceeded my lack of expectations for him. He definitely like undercut a significant portion of the people that he is, I guess, taking for granted are going to march down and vote for him. He would not say that he supported Antifa. He would not say that he supported Black Lives Matter. He was very soft on whether he supported the family members of the people that were lost in the violence that's been perpetrated by cops, let alone did he call out that violence. He didn't provide any way forward for any of those people. He undercut people who want a public option. He undercut people who want, I mean, it was just like, the list goes on, dude.
Basically,
he undercut
the
Black
only
Lives
thing.
Matter. Like, did he say, I support Black Lives Matter tonight?
No, I don't believe
No.
he did. I mean, we talked over a lot, so maybe I missed something, but I don't believe so. The only thing I got from
right
Joe
now-
Biden, as far as messaging goes, Scotty already pointed it out, but I'm just going to reaffirm it. The only thing I got from Joe Biden is I will return us to 2016, basically. Like, I'll reset the clock to before Trump was president, and that's about all I'll do. And that's not much.
So some polling numbers, guys. Right now, looking at Real Clear Politics, obviously they're taking an average of a number of polls, such as Monmouth, Harris, New York Times, The Hill, Emerson, a bunch of places, YouGov, Reuters, blah, blah, blah. Right now, so this is a night before the debate, we're looking at Biden 49.4% and Trump at 43%. This is a national poll. This is a general election poll. Now, obviously, we can look into some other states if you guys want to see some of the battleground states as well.
I
Or
mean,
if
we
you guys-
could take a look at it, but
If you guys don't want to, it doesn't matter. We
I
don't have
mean,
to
this
do it.
data is going to shift after tonight, one way or the
Well, that's
other.
that's why I want to.
I would honestly be pretty surprised if it did. I don't think it's going to shift at all, is my prediction. I think it's
I
going
don't
to
know.
be exactly the same.
I mean, I maybe it won't be a titanic shift, but I have a feeling that this is going to wobble the needle for some people. Like, Joe Biden went out of his way. Maybe he didn't go out of his way. Maybe he's just too old and out of touch to know it. But he pissed in the face of the people who compromised by pledging their vote for him. Like, he doesn't support the Green New Deal. He doesn't support Antifa. He doesn't support Black Lives Matter. He doesn't support anybody's any of these mini attempts to restructure police so that they're less reactive to people having fucking drug problems or meltdowns or whatever the fuck. So that there's like different people to handle that are trained to do that and not fire rounds of ammunition into apartments willy-nilly.
Well, dude, looking at this, I'm on 538. This is crazy here. Ohio, 49.7% to Biden. Trump, 49.3%. So, I mean, Ohio actually is still into play here. But yeah, we have to. I would be interested to see if that shifts to Trump after tonight. I mean, I doubt. I'm kind of with you guys. I don't think it's going to be a significant shift.
I don't.
I mean, maybe you're right, Paul. Maybe there's a little bit of a needle, but I don't think it was that impactful.
Well,
I mean,
the only thing I can really judge by is what I felt about the two guys coming into it. And do I feel any differently about either one of them? No. Neither one of them showed me that my conceptions of who they are or what they believe is even slightly wrong. And so my needle is exactly where it was. So
there's a lot of people
maybe there's people out there that are a little bit more ignorant of it or whatever, but
there are a lot of people in this country who wait for these debates to make their mind up because they think of themselves as like true independents, which is great. And I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't undercut the power that this might have had over that group of people, because that group of people is really like they're the snitch that Harry Potter's always trying to catch on his broomstick. That fucking middle group of people is always flipping and always flopping.
Where do you feel like it will shift to? Because I don't really. I mean, I guess I'm not
telling you, man. Here's what I know about the way that people perceive shit in these debates.
Right.
I don't agree with this shit. This is just I've read, scientists and sociologists and political scientists. I've heard them talk about this type of shit. Strength, right, presents in these. And that's not just like physical size. It's who dominated who. It's almost ape-like. It's pretty funny that we were making ape jokes because it really does boil down to who got on top of who. And tonight, Trump walked all over Biden, interrupted him a million times, got a bunch of extra speaking time because he wouldn't let the fucking moderator shut him up and move him on. I mean, sometimes it just comes down to shit like that with people. I hate to say it, but
there's definitely a segment of the population it's like that. And look,
I'll be interested to see if that's true, because I mean, it doesn't really play to me, but you could very well be right, because I saw a tweet by Tim Pool just a second ago where he was like, wow, it's that no one can shut Trump up, they can't stop him. So obviously some people do like really resonate with that.
This will do nothing but energize Trump's base.
Of course.
This will be painted as a gigantic Titanic victory for Trump by his loyal base. So, and Biden's camp will be divided between people who feel like making excuses for his piss poor, capitulating performance tonight and people who don't.
And
yeah,
look,
I don't know.
We already know. And here's why, people see national polling and stuff like that. I mean, I know you guys are talking about this stuff. I mean, that's whatever. This election is going to be decided by the swing states. National polling, yeah, it does favor Biden. But look, we have states like Ohio, we have North Carolina, I guess Maine, whatever, Florida. All these places are razor thin. So what Paul's saying, I mean, if you just get a fraction of people vote one way based on like what you're saying, like they're just undecided, and it's like Trump looks strong up there, and Trump fucking was like, I ain't taking no shit from anybody. That's what I want in a president. That could get their vote. And Biden did look weak in that. Biden was like, I'm going to hit a kill. Oh, shut up, dude. It's like, but Biden didn't keep the pressure on. Trump kept the pressure on. He kept going forward. And he's like, whatever, even if his message was totally wrong.
You know what really, a lot of it too is just like these politicians they still have not adjusted their game plan to deal with a Trump, because that little cutesy smiling and like laughing it off shit.
That don't work with Trump.
That might work against like, fucking Rick Santorum or some shit. But that don't work.
That might have worked. That might have worked 20 years ago.
Right. It don't work
20
no more.
years ago, if your opponent said something that was silly, that would have been a big moment. Fucking Clinton smirks as George H.W. Bush describes his health care plan or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a big deal. But now, dude, Trump is all over this shit. He is way better prepped for this stuff. He bulldogged this debate. That's why, like, I don't think anybody won it. But if you boil it down to like who looked stronger up there, Trump. Biden looked weak, lost, confused about how much time he could take, confused about whether or not he should butt in, over prepared. He had this, like, we talked over a lot of it, but I was kind of watching it as we were talking. He had this, he was trying to wind himself up with this righteous indignation about his son that died from cancer that was in, he got the service and he blah, 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 and he did this and he did that. And he kept getting interrupted by Trump and he kept having to restart it. And you could see it melt away for a second. And then he would put back on that pre-prepared speech that he drilled probably 100 times with his handlers and shit about his fucking son that died of cancer, that served in the war, that got this star and he got that star. And he was so over-prepared, so pre-prepared. Trump shit all over that, broke his rhythm. He said some stupid, incomprehensible shit tonight that I'm sure will get highlighted tomorrow. He was weak. He was really weak. And Trump, you know what? Trump said some scary fucking shit tonight.
He did. Oh, yeah. He would not. Well, number one, will you condemn these groups like the Proud Boys, white supremacy? Nope. And stand by.
He said, like, he told him, like, stand down and stand by or whatever.
Yeah.
Fuck,
am I listening? Am I watching, like, you guys ever seen the movie Hotel fucking Rwanda? It's like the tall trees and shit. It's like, that's like code shit. It's fucking weird. That shit out there, whatever you think about it, whether it's just we're fucking
to me the crazy
or whatever.
To me, the craziest moment was when he started talking about the critical race theory stuff. It's like it's almost like it's a reversal. And I'm whoa.
because that's what a lot of people in his base feel.
Yeah. That'll be just buried.
I know that won't even be highlighted.
Like, I got to be honest with you. There are people in the chat right now carrying this Biden water.
Yeah.
Going, like somebody said, are we forgetting that the moderator literally had to say, Mr. President, please stop? And it's like, do you think that matters?
I mean, I think it does matter as much as I think there's people who see that display of strength and they say, yeah, that's strength. But there's also people out there who watch that and say, that guy's a prick and I don't like him. And I guess it kind of just matters on like which mentality do more Americans have.
You know what it reminded me of? How Biff treats George McFly at the beginning of the fucking
definitely trilogy. High school bully shit.
I mean, I honestly, and how does that play? How does that play in politics? That Joe Biden is a George McFly,
right? But
Mr. So wait, keep talking all over me, or am
I know, but like, remember, Biff is the villain, and we're supposed to sympathize with George. So you know,
yeah, but that's the problem. The script is flipped when you're talking politics. If you don't have somebody that can stand up to bullying, there are people, and it's not me. Like I said, I don't think that automatically gives Trump a win. That's why I said I don't think anybody won this. But there are people out there, and if you don't admit they exist, then you're just fucking snowed. You just want to pretend these people don't exist.
They definitely exist.
There are people out there that when they see somebody getting bullied, and that person doesn't have the balls to stand up for themselves and say, no, fuck you, man, or the equivalent of that, in a presidential way, and they just simper around and look sad all goddamn night and whine about it later, which Biden will do.
You know what? I wanted to see the Biden that apparently takes a length of chain and fights off
Biden
Corn
died.
Pop, dude. So where's that?
That Biden died. If that Biden ever existed, that Biden died many years ago.
That Biden is long gone.
If that story was true, which is very dubious, that's definitely more of the Biden that needed to be here tonight.
Look,
George knocks Biff. Hold on. George knocks Biff out because his fucking son travels back in time. You fucking idiot. The point of the analogy was that Biff had. Never mind. There's no time travel machine. Doc Brown is not going to strap a fucking nuclear reactor to the back of a DeLorean and make Joe Biden into a fucking like actual human being, okay? You're not gonna get it. His son is not gonna come back in time and go like, Dad, I know I die from cancer in a few years, but you look like a simp. You gotta stand up for yourself. Oh, the cancer, Dad, I'm dying again. Son, Bo, please. That's not gonna happen. He's gonna remain this. He is this. That's my point.
Yeah, if anybody's out there is
Fair
like
enough.
holding out hope for a stronger looking Joe Biden than what we got tonight, I think this is about as good as it gets on his part. So
If it's as good as it gets, that's someone better get on that fucking DeLorean fast.
because it don't get Joe Biden, like, this is what you get. Like, this is about as good as you could have fucking hoped for.
We've seen him get Kamala Harris. That's why she had that big burst with the fucking first Democratic debate they had. They took Biden to task. Biden has been fucking taken to school time and time again with debates. If you were hinging on the debate being what was going to push Biden over, you were being a total fucking optimist. The reality is this, is that do more people want the alternative, which is Biden, or do they want Trump? That's really what's going to boil down to. It's not boiling down to, I really just love Joe Biden. I'm sure those people exist in the fucking wild, but I haven't met any of those motherfuckers. Most people that have to say they want to vote for Biden are like, Trump is horrible. He's the worst thing to happen in this country. The only way to stop the damage is to vote for Joe Biden. We have to do it. It's a fucking damage reduction method right there. We got to get this dumbass back in power. Is he going to be great? No. Is he going to be wonderful? No. Is he senile? Probably, but he's not fucking Trump. That's it. That's why people are going to vote in large part for Biden. If Biden wins, that's the fucking reason. It has nothing to do with the performances in these debates, which are probably going to be equally fucking woeful. Maybe he does better. Maybe he does 10% better next time. It's not going to make a fucking huge difference.
I thought it was really sad that at various points in the debate, Chris Wallace, who is a Fox News guy, was actually making a better case for Joe Biden than Joe Biden was actually standing up to Trump better than Joe Biden was.
He was.
I mean,
it was devastatingly bad.
I know.
There are some people simping for Biden in our fucking chat going like,
Well,
Biden
they can.
won.
That's whatever. They can
it's
say
like-
that. I don't care.
I mean,
No,
I would not say that
If that's the way they feel, then
Dude,
whatever.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I feel. I was scrolling through Twitter and I came across a thread that said who won, and it said Biden and Trump, and I just couldn't even. I'm like, just looked at it and I just scrolled on by because I can't answer that. There is no answer to that for me.
You know what? I can't tell you who won, but I can tell you who lost. The American fucking people lost. That's who. If you want a definitive answer on any of those questions, I can't fucking tell you that. I'm sure there's Fox News polls that say Trump crushed. I mean, MSNBC will say Biden crushed Trump. It's whatever your slant is. That's all.
Both the parties are going to go into spin mode now and fucking
it's
tell
all
you
gonna
about
be
how their guy
spin.
destroyed it.
And if you go to the centrist people, it's just going to be pretty much split down the middle. Maybe 52% said Biden won, or Biden was more presidential. That's because it's all a spin. It's all how you ask it. Of course they'll ask who won, but it'll be who is the more presidential candidate. Oh, Biden. Biden is so more presidential. So there'll be some fucking measure that both sides can spin to their advantage. It's what they always do. And that's just going to continue to happen. It's not a fucking shock here.
Oh, hey, dude, you know what?
Here.
I figured out what Biden was trying to say.
On what?
When he when you do that gibberish about like your law and you're no order, but then the law happened. You remember that? Whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah.
So
that string of incoherent rambling.
So
I
he
remember that.
he tweeted this is the line. I think this he tweeted this out about at actually 9:11 p.m. But I think this is
for a second. What'd you say?
I think I've come across a Joe Biden Twitter thing that I think is supposed to be I think it's the line he flubbed. Here's what this tweet says. Donald Trump isn't a law and order president. He's a president who breaks the law and creates disorder. I think that was that was the line he was trying to get out, but he just totally flubbed it because he's an old fucking man with cobwebs on his brain.
Offense, though. It was good offense by Trump because Trump knew that about Biden.
Trump was Trump combo breakers left and right. Why are you looking at that, Trump?
Dude, they're trolling me so hard in the chat tonight.
What are they doing to you, Paul?
They're saying, they said Paul barely paid attention to the debate, yet has the strongest opinion. So apparently my opinion is stronger than both of the opinions that Scotty and TJ have presented. And the strength of their opinion, I guess, doesn't matter because they paid better attention to the debate than I did. And if I go back and intently watch every second of this debate, my entire fucking perception of it will change.
The real problem is they know you're looking at them.
What a dumb thing. Like what a dumb fucking thing to waste your time typing.
Yeah, this because they know you're looking at them.
Okay, you're right.
Well, I don't know about Paul has a stronger opinion. It's just that Paul doesn't agree. It's obviously Paul just doesn't agree with you, and you want him to agree. He's not going to agree. He's not going to vote for Biden.
You want me to?
Well, hold on. If I'll say this in defense of Paul on this fucking voting shit. He ain't gonna fucking do it, people. It doesn't matter how much you browbeat him. Doesn't matter what the fuck you say to him. You know what? Like, does someone does? Like, here's the psychology behind Paul. Here's a little insight to you. Is Paul the kind of person? The more you push him in a direction, the more his fucking heel is getting dug into the ground. It doesn't matter if he's dug up onto his fucking neck. He ain't gonna do it.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. You guys out there, and there's a few of you that want me to jump on the fucking simp for Biden train. It's not gonna happen ever. I will never cast my vote for that kind of person ever again in my life. I know what I get. It's less than nothing. They usually walk things back and make things worse. I've seen it too many times to do it.
And the thing is, Biden's not even promising anything. He's literally only promising to walk us back to the Obama administration. I mean, that's just like, I've never seen a politician running for president who had less to offer than Joe Biden does.
He's progressive, TJ. This is like, he's a socialist. He's socialist, remember? He's
basically entirely running a campaign on, if you don't like this guy, I'm your only alternative. That's his entire sales pitch. That's all he's got. I mean, basically, you just got to, like, the only thing that's going to get that's going to win Biden this election is if people buy that. If they're just like, I hate Trump so much that I just want rid of him. That is about the best you could hope for. So, that's why he's running that strategy. That's his campaign. That is literally what he's running on.
You know, and we have to ask the question is, do the American people like being, the battered wife or husband more? Or do they have the strength and the courage to stand up and walk away from it? Oh, but not really. They're just walking it back to, like, the slightly less abusive shithead that they were with before. I mean, give me a fucking break here. Like, this is not even really a fucking choice. Like, the best case scenario Biden is promising you is, like, it'll be the Obama years again. Maybe. If, we totally sweep Congress and suddenly, I guess we actually pass some of these laws. Oh, wait. Like, how is this anything but the two conservative parties competing? I don't really see at all this progressive shit. So when people are saying we're going to fucking, browbeat fucking Biden, to what? What position is Biden going to take? He's basically got up on that stage tonight and said everything that you believe.
Yep.
So you're suddenly going to get him to go.
They're going to be in a better position to bully him, Scotty. Once he's got ultimate power and once he's installed.
That's how it always works, right?
No, that's exactly how it doesn't work. And that's
what?
That's exactly how it hasn't worked for as long as I've been alive, at least. I mean, I won't speak out of turn.
Well, this time's different, Paul.
This time, #this time, man. All you got to do is just fucking subvert all your expectations for what you want to vote for this time, one more time. Because this president, and we've never heard that before, have we, boys? This president is especially dangerous. Look, I understand. Sometimes you just can't vote. I've been there. But this president is especially dangerous. He's a fascist, leading us to war, leading us to global war, possibly nuclear war. He's crazy, filled with crazy ideas. He's stupid. Oh, wait, no. Just George W. Bush again. I've heard this whole fucking argument from the left again. Just vote for our fucking thin gruel. Just vote for our fucking hope and our change packaged up and wrapped up all fancy. But when you open it up, it's just filled with rancid dog shit. Just do it one more time. This one's too dangerous.
Change we can believe.
No. In my opinion, Biden never had a chance in this debate. I mean, I can tell that from just watching his public appearances, watching his fucking interviews, watching his live streams, watching him on fucking Flash Friday when we do it. I knew that he was going to get bulldogged in this debate, and sure enough, there it went. What's he going to do?
Well,
tell an anecdote about how he caught a fish one time with a guy that wanted to kick his ass or something.
Yep.
He didn't even do that.
I mean, I don't understand how this motherfucker went into this debate. Like, you could tell, like, when Trump started interrupting constantly, like, he looked shocked. Like, what? It's like, yeah, it's Trump. Like, I don't know who gave him his prep, But like the fact that that was a surprise to him tells me that it wasn't good. Because that should have been a surprise to no one. Like, just go. Like, did they not show him like, here's how we did against Hillary? You see, he interrupts constantly. That's what he does. He tries to knock you off your game. So we got to prepare for that. Nope. None of that.
I will say
all.
this: the only thing positive I would say about Trump and the Biden and Biden's interaction was that Trump didn't have any great like, oh my god moments with like Hillary, like you'd be in jail or something like that. So we haven't heard anything like that yet.
So Brian Palmer in the chat said, how many times does this have to be explained? Bullying Biden isn't about moving Biden. It's about moving the voter base. Then why isn't it called bully the voter base, dipshit? It sounds like you're listening to somebody who's flip-flopping and making excuses for a stupid position that they no longer support, but they don't want to dump it. I don't know who said that. I don't know who provided that convoluted explanation or how they convinced you to bring it in here and present it to me.
Well, it's
as if I wasn't going to pick it apart for what it is.
Well,
Rebranding. Get the fuck out of here, bitch. You think that having Biden in power is going to bully the electorate into not doing the same fucking thing the next time they give you thin corporate gruel? The next time the DNC hunkers up like a big fucking pit bull and shits out another corporatist? What do you think they're going to do?
Well, not
And
to mention
even
they
if
have
there is a progressive on the ballot, dumb fuck, what do you think the DNC is going to do about that? You think they're going to let them get through the fucking primaries? Or do you think they're going to stack the primary with 22 nobodies and then coordinate their fucking dropping out of the race just in time to fucking
their mass
scuttle the other
exodus.
dude's campaign? How many times they got to take it from you for you to realize that voting for their little vampire that they throw up on stage, and if you can't see it now, I don't know when you ever fucking will, isn't working?
I mean, there's so many issues.
Well, sitting out and doing nothing isn't working either. Stupid motherfuckers, dude. Just so tired of making the stupid arguments, listening to the stupid arguments. Look, dude, if you want to go vote for Biden, vote for Biden.
Yeah. Well, I think that goes without saying.
Quit trying to put a silk hat on the pig. Quit trying to put lipstick on the sow, okay? I know what it is. I see what it wallows in. You're not going to convince me it's good, and you ain't going to convince me to sign my name underneath it. You do what you think is best for the fucking country. Go vote. But quit with this campaign trying to convince me that he ain't what he is.
There's so many other. There's so many other issues. It's like saying, well, that you're shifting the electorate. Okay, well, the electorate had a choice, and they ended up fucking voting for the fucking centrist. Oh, because all the other centrists endorsed him. So what are you talking about? Oh, and not to mention, we don't live in a direct fucking democracy. It's a constitutional republic. So once that person holds power, unless you want to impeach Biden, what is that going to do? This bullying? Oh, we won't reelect you. Oh, so you're going to elect a fucking Republican then? Well, no, we're going to have a progressive mounted challenge. Well, if Biden is president, that ensures the Republican's going to win. So how's this bullying going to work? I don't see the logic behind it.
I've just heard it before, dude. It's never been called bullying. Like, that's the new way that it's being packaged. But this idea that we can take this candidate, settle for him, and push him to the left and make him into a... That's what they were saying about John Kerry. John Kerry was called out rightfully by actual leftists as what he was. A capitulating fucking centrist, corporatist piece of shit on the road to the type of candidate we get now.
Well, don't you think the argument they're just going to make to that is, well, we have to put someone that can win. If you put some of those ideas up, Paul, they're not going to win. They're just going to lose the election. If you put someone up that's, a social democrat or something, they're just going to get, Trump's going to wipe the floor at them. They're too far to the fucking left. They're unelectable.
Okay, so you put them up again next year.
I just read a tweet here from that dude Sean. I don't really watch his videos, but I do follow his Twitter. He said,
"Which dude?"
Sean. A dude named Sean.
He's just named Sean. That's just who he's known as. That's what what he's known as. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
The Anarchy Ball?
No. He's like a skull with sunglasses. But anyway, it doesn't really matter who the fuck he is. He said, so it's like doing one of these things where it's like he does like the dialogue as both characters. It says, Trump, I support bad things. My opponent supports good things. Biden, Shut up, man. I do not. And that kind of summarizes it for me. The entire debate was pretty much like Trump trying to frame Biden as far left, and then Biden refuting the idea that he's far left by showing off just how conservative he actually is. I mean,
Biden is so dumb.
This felt like I was watching a debate between like a Reaganite and like, I don't even know whatever the Republican Party has become at this point. But it just felt like old Republicanism versus new Republicanism, which just shows you how far the Overton window has crept right.
It's felt like that for fucking years, man. The last time it hasn't felt like that was Obama's first fucking run at it.
Yep, when Obama ran.
I bought into that hope and I bought into that changey shit, and he just presented himself so different, so young and vibrant and worldly and all this shit. Bought into
Biden's not even trying
bullshit.
to present himself like that. He's just like, nope.
Well, dude, let's pretend he wanted to. Do you think Biden could at this point?
No, he can't even. He couldn't even convincingly memorize the talking points he would need to pretend. There's no way.
Glaring through oblivion, you can ejaculate now. Okay, you've asked like 90 times. You're free to ejaculate.
Yeah, go ahead.
He's asked me if he can come like 90 times, so
Well,
I feel bad.
yeah.
I'm blue.
Can I come
Or should I have made him wait?
I should have made
know,
him wait, dude.
You're a better dom than me, TJ. Like, what should I have made him wait like until the very end of the stream?
Here's what you gotta do: tell him he's allowed to come, but he has to keep jerking off after he comes until it hurts, and then he has to.
Oh,
cry.
okay, yeah, that you heard him.
Damn, Tita, you're a sinister motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed to come, but you've got to keep going because it's gonna feel real
Have
uncomfortable.
my permission to come.
And you got to go harder too after you come.
Yeah, after you come, you gotta fucking intensify until you fucking
go ahead.
cry. It's gotta you gotta make it hurt. You gotta be to the point where you can't you literally feel like you can't even do it anymore, and then you gotta do it more.
I just participated in a social exchange that would count more than any vote that I've ever cast, because something was produced at the end of it. little repackaging of a Carlin joke.
Yeah, but whatever, it works.
It's an old
the
joke, but
opportunity presented
checks
itself.
out. Hey, dude, I am never against an opportunity.
I wasn't gonna call you out. I was gonna let
Use
it
a George
slide.
Carlin paraphraser quote, dude. Never against that.
He's so happy. Did you see him? He's
Thank
like,
you, master. I have
"Yes!"
came.
But then he's gonna hear me saying that he has to keep stroking it, and he's gonna be like, "No, no,
He's
keep
like,
doing
no,
it."
he's gonna be like, yes.
Well, I mean,
Come
he's
on,
gonna
Paul.
say no, but he's gonna mean yes.
Yeah,
Well,
that's the way it works.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
fair
yeah.
enough.
All right. Well, is there anything more to say on this shit, or?
Oh, I've got all, dude. I could sit here. I gotta be honest with you. I could sit here all night and joust with these motherfuckers, but
I mean,
you know, whatever. We
maybe-
gotta call it at some point, I guess.
Maybe Paul will do a ideology. I don't know. You gonna do that, or are you gonna fucking go?
Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see what Paul does.
Well, maybe there's some.
Maybe he'll want. Maybe
content
Paul is a
involved.
glutton for punishment, or maybe he's a glutton for punishing you guys.
Maybe that I'm both actually.
Yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. I'm just I'm not. It was pretty much exactly what I expected it to be, except for I honestly kind of was hoping there would be more fireworks than there were. I didn't expect.
Well, there's more to go.
I didn't expect it to be so sedate. I think Trump was actually more sedate than I've seen him in the past, despite the fact that he interrupted constantly. He kind of seemed more. I don't know. He seemed a little bit more subdued than I've seen him in the past. I don't know if that was an intentional thing of him trying to come across as presidential or whatever, or if he's just getting lower energy. And then Biden, of course,
he's fucking ancient.
Biden, of
What do you
course,
want?
you know, we all know that Biden has about as much energy as a fucking. I don't even know this pen that I'm holding in my
sloth?
hand. No, I kept thinking of things, then I was like, no. It's like what's one of those like the little hats, the beanies with the little propeller on top? That's about the Biden level of energy, you know?
Well, guys,
yeah.
before we go, I pulled some other stuff. Vice presidential debate is October 7th. We have another presidential debate October 15th.